Mala, Washington to Kalamazoo. It's a beautiful day for a home run, but even a triple's okay. We're gonna cheer and boo and raise a hullabaloo at the ball game today.
It's time for California League Baseball on KVCR with your Inland Empire 66ers, single-A affiliate of the Seattle Mariners. Today's broadcast is made possible by the support of Loma Linda University Children's Hospital, the only children's hospital in the Inland Empire. By Toyota of Redlands, where personal relationships still count. By the more than 50 Southern California Farmer Boys Fasterons, fresh food served fast. And by the Arrowhead Credit Union, serving the Inland Empire communities for more than 50 years. Now let's head out to the ballpark.
Well, good evening, everybody. As we embark on the holiday weekend, we are at the epicenter in Rancho, Cucamonga. Mike Sager, along with my broadcast partner, Bill Burns, getting ready for Game 2 of this 5-game wraparound series between the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes, Inland Empire 66ers. Last night, the Sixers came back from the All-Star break and didn't look like they were ever away. They won their fourth straight, drubbing the Quakes 14-5. The Sixers finishing with 17 hits. Brent Johnson, Casey Craig, and Josh Womack had 3 apiece. Starting pitcher Justin Thomas, another superb effort, struck out a career-high 11 in just over 5 innings of work, the most strikeouts in just about 2 years by a 66er pitcher. The Sixers total struck out 16 Rancho batters last night, and during the onslaught scored in 5 straight innings. At one point, the 4th through the 8th. So with the win, the Sixers have won 4 straight. They come in first place in the second half of the South at 5-1, a 1-game lead. And meanwhile, the Quakes, they have lost 6 in a row. Last place in the second half at 1-6, and already 4.5 games out of first place. Tonight should be a good pitching matchup, at least on paper, as Sean Nottingham gets the ball for Inland Empire. Right-hander Jose Arredondo, who we have not seen this year. And this will be the last time we figure to see him because it was already been announced that he is going up to AA Arkansas and will be there over this weekend. I believe it's Sunday. So Arredondo, who has put together a great year but has not gotten any support from his offense. And as a result, his record is a very mediocre 4-6, but he has a great earned run average of 2.20. And, in fact, looking at where he stands among the Cal League leaders, he is second in the league in earned run average. He is first in the league in strikeouts with 108. And comparing him to the rest of minor league pitchers, Arredondo is right up there in the strikeout category. So, guy who has pitched extremely well, but hasn't gotten a lot of support. He has not won in his last 4 starts. And Sean Nottingham, a guy who can kind of commiserate because Nottingham has not really gotten a whole lot of support himself. And he is 3-6, despite an ERA of about 3.5. So we're about ready to get this game started. It is an unusually light crowd, but then again, it is the start of a holiday weekend, and I would imagine a lot of people have probably hightailed it out of town. So we are here, and I guess that's all that matters. Well, maybe not. You're here listening. And we thank you for joining us and hope you got some big plans and stay safe on this July 4th holiday. And don't forget the Sixers home on July 4th. They open up a 3-game series with Lake Elsinore beginning Tuesday. July 4th tickets going very quickly and not a whole lot left, although I understand there are some selected box seats still available. Brent Johnson will lead off tonight. He is in center, Casey Craig in left, and Ronnie Prettyman at third, hitting in the 3-hole. Brian Schweiger will clean up and do the catching. Matt Rogelstad, who left the team for about a week, has now returned. He is in the lineup at first. Jack Arroyo at second base, hitting 6th. And we'll give you the next three in a moment, as the first pitch of the night from Arredondo is a little bit low. Chris Colton in right field hitting seventh. J.B. Tucker, the designated hitter, and Jeff Dominguez will be the shortstop. Johnson with an 8-game hitting streak, and Brent takes a look at a strike, 1 ball, 1 strike. Hitting .330 in the month of June and batting .301 for the season. Over the last 5 games of this 8-game hitting streak, Johnson has hit better than .450. And he takes the next pitch into right field, sinking, and that'll drop in front of Fuller for a base hit. The BJ, who started the ball game last night with a single, and the Sixers got off to a very quick start against Francisco Rodriguez, getting 3 in the first inning and never looked back. And Johnson starts things off with a base hit here, so he is aboard, and the batter is Casey Craig. By the way, Johnson, if you're wondering about his longest streak this year, he had a 13-gamer. Craig 6 for 12 with 2 RBIs. Since joining the team, as Casey takes one high, 1 ball and no strikes. Craig, a 3-hit game last night, one of 3 Sixers in that 17-hit attack. Inland Empire hitting .274 in June, and that would be tied for the 4th best in the league this month. They're 2nd in the league in hitting overall this year. The third baseman, Freddy Sandoval, up on the grass. Craig swings away and pops it back a third out of play. So the count 1 ball and a strike. Arredondo was supposed to make a start when the Quakes were in San Bernardino back in late May. He had been removed early in his start on May the 16th here against San Jose because Quakes manager Bobby Mitchell said that it just didn't look like Arredondo was into the game that night, so they took him out after 2 innings, and they basically benched him. Pickoff throw to first gets away from Michael Collins, so that will send Johnson head first into second base, but without a throw. And we will presume an error on the throw. So E1, and Johnson in scoring position right off the bat here. Count 1 ball and a strike to Casey Craig. So Arredondo, who was supposed to start one of the games in San Bernardino, wound up being skipped, and we didn't see him. And then he did not pitch when the Sixers got swept here at the beginning of the month. This would be his 15th start of the year. The pitch to Craig, Casey shows bunt, and he looks at a pitch low, 2-1. Jose is 4th in the minor leagues in strikeouts with 108, and he's done that in just 82 innings, averaging 11.85 strikeouts every 9 innings. That is the 10th best ratio in minor league baseball. Craig hits a ground ball to first. Collins normally behind the plate, but at first base tonight goes to the bag unassisted. But on the play, Johnson down to third, so in effect a swinging sacrifice, and the batter Ronnie Prettyman. The Quakes are only 6-8 in the games that Arredondo has started, even though he has a brilliant ERA of 2.20. The California League is batting 189 against Arredondo. But Rancho this year has averaged less than 4 runs a game in the starts that Jose has made. They have scored 9 total runs in the last 5 games he has started. Prettyman hitting just .232 this month, lines a bullet into right. Base hit. Johnson is in, and for the moment that is an unearned run. So the Sixers, just like last night, getting an early run and go up 1-0 here in the top of the first. One thing you have to wonder about, and Arredondo, as well as he has pitched, he is still a human being, and it is unusual that a player would find out about a promotion and still be in the ball game. Generally, you would say in this situation, you would think most teams would tell him after tonight's game he was going up. So you wonder if Arredondo's thoughts might not be in Arkansas, which is where the Angels AA team is in the Texas League. The pitch to Brian Schweiger in for a strike and the count 0-1. And you couldn't blame him if that were the case. So focus and concentration, I guess that would be the key issue tonight, and if he is really all there. Schweiger hitting .375 with a home run and 8 driven in, and he takes a good curveball for a strike to fall behind 0-2. To give you an idea of how well Arredondo has been pitching, he has turned in a quality start in each of his last 6 outings, but in those 6, his record is 2-4, even though his ERA is 1.90, and opponents are hitting $1.33. That's hard to believe. The next pitch to Schweiger is high, and the count 1-2 to Bryan. So you really can't ask for much more than that. I mean, he is pitching exceptionally well, but he is just not getting support. He has lost his last 2 starts. Rancho getting beat 6-3 by Lake Elsinore last time out, 7-2 by the Mavericks in his start before that. The pitch to Schweiger is a fastball high, 2-2 to Bryan. He has gone 7 innings in each of his last 4 starts. His longest outing this year back on May the 26th, which was the beginning of that stretch of 6 straight quality starts. He went 8 innings that night and allowed just 1 hit. Rancho with Toussaint, LeBlanc, and Fuller in the outfield. They're shading the other way toward right. There goes Prettyman. The pitch low and outside. No throw, as the catcher, Tim Duff, was unable to come up with it cleanly. So Ronnie Prettyman gets his 8th steal in 11 tries, and the Sixers have a runner in scoring position. That, of course, also takes them out of a double play. And if you have followed the team at all this year, you know that that has been one of the Achilles heels of a club that overall has done pretty well offensively. They have grounded into 24 double plays in 24 games in June, and they're second in the league this year, grounding into 67. Only the High Desert Mavericks with 71 have grounded into more double plays. So Schweiger back in there with a 2-2, make it a 3-2 count. 1-0 Sixers here in the first inning, runner at second, and on deck Matt Rogelstad. Arredondo from the stretch, fastball swung on and missed. He just blew Schweiger away, 92 on the gun, according to the scoreboard out there in left field. So 2 outs in the first inning, and welcome back Matt Rogelstad. You hardly would know that he was gone, as Rogie left. I don't remember if it was the day after the Sixers clinched against High Desert or 2 days after, but of course that was just about a week ago. And in essence, he and Young Chi Chen have traded spots. The pitch to Rogie swung on and missed, 0-1. And speaking of Chen, this is pretty remarkable. You know, San Antonio was off yesterday, so Young Chi got into town. They're in Frisco, Texas tonight. Young Chi Chen is not even playing tonight. They've got him on the bench. The pitch to Rogelstad is outside, 1-1. For certain, he'd be in the lineup if he were here, but Young Chi getting promoted, and welcome to the Texas League. You're sitting tonight. Makes a lot of sense. Arredondo, 22 years old, great arm. He was a shortstop originally, but didn't hit. Hit 191 in rookie ball in 04, and that's when the Angels decided, well, we better go to plan B. Rogelstad out in front of the pitch, doesn't get it. Matt hitting .233 in a Sixer uniform, and has been a good clutch hitter, .364, with runners in scoring position. So Arredondo was moved to the mound, and he got into a handful of games that year in 04. Pick off to second. In time, they have picked off Ronnie Prettyman. So Prettyman picked off to end the inning. Arredondo going back there to Rodriguez, and that'll do it. So Rogelstad will lead off when the Sixers hit next inning. However, they do get a run, and because of the wild pickoff throw by Arredondo on Johnson, the run winds up being unearned. We will move along to the bottom of the first. Sixers 1, Quakes coming to hit.
Right here, right now, Toyota of Redlands, Toyota of Redlands.
Toyota of Redlands is pleased to once again partner with the California League's Inland Empire 66ers. Toyota of Redlands is located at 1139 West Redlands Boulevard with a showroom of Toyota cars and trucks as well as certified pre-owned Toyota vehicles. Open 7 days a week. As part of the local community, Toyota of Redlands believes in personal relationships. Information available at toyotaofredlands.com.
Mark Childress wore a gray tux to his high school prom. The rest of the details are a little sketchy.
It's like the minute that we leave it, we all get this great collective amnesia for who we were. You know, unless we happen to be the homecoming queen or something. But very few of us with that, right?
Prom night becomes a plot twist in Mark Childress's new novel, One Mississippi, Sunday on Weekend Edition from NPR News.
Sunday morning on KVCR, San Bernardino.
This week, a Prairie Home Companion is at Tanglewood with the Waylon Jennings, Robin and Linda Williams and the Hopeful Gospel Quartet, Geraldine Steele. And Meryl Streep is with us as Yolanda Johnson of the Johnson Girls. and also to read her favorite American poems. Guy Noir as well, the news from Lake Wobegon this week on A Prairie Home Companion.
Saturday afternoon at 3 on KVCR, San Bernardino, Riverside.
Well, while it's only the bottom of the first inning, one note to consider. As far as the Quakes are concerned, when the opposition has scored first this year, the Quakes have the worst record in the league, 6 wins and 30 losses. Well, to say the least, they have not been a good come-from-behind team. Josh LeBlanc, Sean Rodriguez, and Freddy Sandoval to start things off against Sean Nottingham, who's making his 16th start of the year. Sean 3-6, but he has a good ERA at 3.52. Nottingham at the moment is among the top 10 in the league. In fact, he is 7th in ERA as LeBlanc takes a strike 0-1. He has not won in his last 4 starts as the left-hander LeBlanc bounces it the other way to third. Prettyman, who was up on the grass, goes over to Rogelstad, so that takes care of the leadoff hitter. And with one away, here comes Sean Rodriguez, who cracked a rather loud and prodigious home run last night off Justin Thomas. That sounded like a big league home run when it left the bat. Rodriguez hitting his 15th of the year to establish a new career high. He's been going. He's been on a home run binge. Just before, a little before the All-Star break, he had 4 home runs over a stretch of 6 games. And the right-hander takes one inside from Nottingham, 1-0. John hitting .292. He's got 43 RBIs to go along with those 15 home runs. He takes a pitch outside, 2-0. And here at the epicenter is at .323 with 9 of his 15 homers. Swings a black-colored stick, Nottingham out of the windup, and Rodriguez takes it off to the right, out of play, 2 balls and a strike. In the last 3 games that Nottingham has started, all of them quality starts. He is 0-2, but has a brilliant earned run average of 119. He went 7 innings against the Mavericks and lost matching up with John Gregg last Wednesday. As Rodriguez takes a cut, doesn't get it, and the count now 2-2. That was the night Gregg struck out 11, and the Sixers wound up losing 6-2 to the Mavericks. Nottingham in about 85 innings this year, 76 strikeouts and 29 walks. The pitch to Rodriguez inside gets away from Schweiger. So the count now 3-2. Nottingham against the Quakes this year has made one other start, and that was May the 20th in San Bernardino when he gave up 2 runs over 6 innings and picked up the win. That was the start of a 3-game winning streak for him. Rodriguez turns on a pitch, hits it into left. That'll drop in for a base hit, cut off by Casey Craig, and because he was able to cut it off, it's going to hold Rodriguez to a very long single. So Sean Rodriguez is aboard. He had 2 hits last night, a home run and a single. And now here comes Freddy Sandoval, a switch hitter who will climb in from the right side. He's at .282 from this side and 8 points higher as a left-hander. Talking about run support, in the last 4 games that Nottingham has started, the Sixers have scored a grand total of 7 runs, and not just when he has been in the game. That's 7 runs for the entire game over 4. The first one to Sandoval for a strike. The Sixers are only 5-10 in Nottingham starts, but among the regular starters, only Aaron Jensen has received poor run support. They are averaging less than 4.5 runs a game when Nottingham pitches. He gets Sandoval out in front of an off-speed pitch, and it's 0-2. Freddy hitting .287 with 4 home runs. He has killed the High Desert Mavericks this year. In 18 games against them, he's hit all 4 of his home runs and driven in 16 of his 26 runs. Nottingham out of the stretch, and Sandoval is down swinging as Nottingham pulled the string and kept the pitch away. So out number 2 here in the Rancho first, and that'll bring up Michael Collins, who is playing first base tonight, normally the Quakes catcher. He played first base most recently, a little over a week ago against Lake Elsinore. And when he has been in there at first, for whatever reason, has not been very productive, only a 130 average compared to 320 when Bobby Mitchell has him in the lineup behind the plate. Team high 45 RBIs this year, right-handed hitter from Australia, and he takes one inside, 1 ball and no strike. 66ers on top, 1-0 here in the bottom of the first, and they have won 4 straight, their longest winning streak since winning 9 in a row in May. And with the win last night, they've won 4 of their last 7 games on the road, though they're still just 16-23 on the road for the year. Nottingham out of the stretch, and the pitch driven in the air to center field. Johnson going back over his head. That should score the run. Brent plays it off the wall. Here comes Rodriguez. Here comes the relay home, a little bit offline. The run scores, and we are tied in the first. Collins had 2 doubles last night. He now has 6 doubles in his last 6 games. And he's hit safely, obviously, in 6 straight. 8 hits and 18 at-bats. That would be his 6th RBI during the hitting streak. So Rancho comes right back and gets that run that the Sixers got in the first inning. And, of course, their run, an unearned run. So here comes Pat Riley. Riley, not in the lineup yesterday. A left-handed batter, and Nottingham's pitched to him over for a strike. Riley's the guy who, back on June the 4th here, with 2 outs, Sixers up 8-4 in the 9th, Riley hit a grand slam off Mumba Rivera, and Rancho went on to win the game in 10 to complete a 3-game sweep. Nottingham will look back at second. Pitch to Riley is upstairs, looked like a breaking ball, and the count evens up 1 apiece. Riley hitting .274 with the Quakes, 5 homers, 27 driven in. He started the year in the Midwest League at Cedar Rapids, where he hit .315 with a home run and knocked in 17 for them. Bit of an open stance. Nottingham's pitch waved at and missed. Kind of an ugly-looking swing by Riley. And the count now goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. All 3 of Nottingham's wins this year have been at Arrowhead Credit Union Park. He is 0-3 in 7 road starts with an ERA of .475. His ERA at home is more than 2 runs lower. He looks back at second base, and the 1-2 pitch on the hands popped back a third out of play. And in fact, it has been a long time since Nottingham has last won a road start. You've got to go back to the 12th of May last year when he picked up a win starting in Lancaster. So he's made 8 starts at home this year, and this would be his 8th on the road. Both teams with 2 hits and a run in the first inning. 2 outs, Drew Toussaint on deck. Nottingham double-checking at second, and the pitch on the way to Riley is a little bouncer hit wide of first base foul. Since sweeping the Sixers in that series here earlier this month, the Quakes have lost 17 out of 20. They are only hitting .235 in those 20 games, averaging 3.5 runs a game. And with runners in scoring position over the last 20, hitting a rather anemic .223. The 1-2 pitch is a high pop fly into right field. It's got some carry. Colton back to the wall, jumps in the air. It is gone. So Riley hitting his 6th home run of the year. I didn't think that ball had enough distance when it left the bat. The wind, which blows out to right field here, is not blowing all that hard at the moment. Last night at the start of the game, it was blowing out at about 16 miles an hour. And you want to hear an interesting number as Drew Toussaint swings and fouls it back. That home run that Riley hit, not only is it the first home run that a left-hander has hit off Nottingham this year, that is only the 2nd extra base hit that Nottingham has allowed to a left-handed batter. Toussaint takes the pitch low and away, 1-1. So Nottingham has faced, a couple, 59 plate appearances by lefties this year, and only 2 extra base hits as Toussaint swings and misses. Nottingham has allowed 6 home runs overall. Toussaint hitting .233. He's got some pop in his bat, 10 home runs. And the next pitch to him is a little bit inside, 2-2. Strikes out quite a bit, 71 in 66 games, but he's having his best month of the year here in June, as he takes one that looked right down the pipe but evidently missed low. So a 3-2 count. Sixers pitching has been pretty rock solid for really quite some time now, as Toussaint takes a swing at a pitch in the dirt, strike 3. So Nottingham fans 2 in the inning, but he winds up giving up 3 runs on 3 hits. So at the end of the first inning of play here at the Epicenter tonight, it's the Quakes 3, Inland Empire 1.
Romantic, magical, rousing. Join Andre Rieu and the Johann Strauss Orchestra as they captivate Dublin with their musical charm. It's a delightful evening of beautiful waltzes and stirring marches that you will not soon forget. Andre will put a smile on your face and capture your heart. Don't miss Andre Rieu, live in Dublin.
Friday night at 8 on KVCR TV, Channel 24.
Arrowhead Credit Union offers checking accounts with online bill pay. They also have programs and rates for your next home or auto loan. Arrowhead Credit Union, with 25 locations in the Inland Empire to serve you, as well as access to more than 25,000 ATMs. If you live, work, or worship in San Bernardino or Riverside counties, you're eligible to join Arrowhead Credit Union and learn more about their rates, friendly service, and convenience. More information is at arrowheadcu.org.
Hi, I'm Clark Morrow. By now you've heard Construction Zone Radio has moved to a new time, Saturday mornings at 11. But did you know you can call any time and leave a message? Phone us at 1-800-841-1999 and we'll call you back to be on the show. That's 1-800-841-1999 and listen to Construction Zone Radio Saturday mornings at 11 on KVCR San Bernardino.
Well, an action-packed first inning tonight. 3-1 in favor of the Quakes. And the Sixers coming up against Jose Arredondo. It'll be Rogelstad, Arroyo, and then Colton. Matt was up there last inning when Ronnie Prettyman was picked off second base. First pitch of the inning is on the inside corner for a strike, 0-1. Arredondo has been a pretty quick study. Has a fairly simple delivery, about a 3/4 arm slot, as Rogie swings and fouls it back. No balls, 2 strikes. And he will get his fastball up there as high as 97. That last one registering at 93. Last year he sat primarily 91 to 93. The pitch on the way. Rogelstad, a broken bat roller wide of first base foul. He broke the bat right off at the knob. And the bat going about halfway up third, so it'll be retrieved by Freddy Sandoval. It gives it to one of the bat boys. And Rogelstad back to get a new piece of lumber. Arredondo last year started, well, he appeared in 15 games in the Pioneer League, started all but 2. And he also made 5 relief appearances for the Angels AA team in Arkansas. He was 5-0 between the two teams, working in 74 innings and striking out 64 while walking just 24. So he is a tough nut to crack, and the Cal League will be finished with him after tonight's start. Rogelstad swings at a high fastball. Down he goes, and that one hitting 95. So back-to-back strikeouts for Arredondo, who fanned Schweiger in the first. Rogelstad was up there when Prettyman was picked off. So the last 2 batters he has retired, he has struck out. And here comes Jack Arroyo. Arroyo with the Sixers hitting .421. He's got 8 hits in 19 at-bats. Has also knocked in 5. So he has been, I think, a bit of a pleasant surprise, though 19 at-bats is not many. So far, so good, though. Center field and right field in the sunshine. The middle of the infield in the sun as well, and that's about it. The lights are on, the sky blue as can be, not a cloud in sight. As a curve hits the outside corner to Arroyo, 0-1. And a pretty nice view of the mountains in the background behind the left field area here. Outfield around toward right, and the next pitch to Arroyo down and away. Jack went for it. Comes up empty, and the count is 0-2. Arredondo, besides a very hard fastball, has a slider and a changeup. Works out of the windup and the 0-2 pitch. Arroyo takes a little bit outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Since the beginning of May, the California League has hit 160 against Arredondo, and he has been particularly tough in the early innings of his starts this year. Back he comes with a 1-2, and that one is swung on and missed. The ball coming in on Arroyo a bit, and he strikes out. So there's number 3. Arredondo struck out 11 back on May 31st against Lancaster. He did that in 6 2/3 innings. Struck out 11 of the 25 he faced that night. He has fanned 8 in each of his last 2 starts. So here's Colton. Chris showing some signs of coming around. As he stands in, he's hit in 4 straight. He looks at a first pitch strike 0-1. 5 for 15 with 3 doubles, and that on the heels of a 1 for 23 skid. He takes a pitch on the inside corner, and that was a ball he was actually turning in from. So Arredondo ahead 0-2. Nobody on, 3-1 Quakes in the second. Duff setting his target. Pitch on the way is low and outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. During the Sixers' 4-game winning streak, they have outscored the opposition 25-7. They've outscored the opponent 48-23 in their last 7 games, winning 6 of them. And a curveball to Colton is up and in, 2-2. They have also won 9 of their last 12 after losing 9 of 11. And if they do win tonight, they would match their high water mark. A win tonight would put them 13 above 500. And that would be the second time this year if they get there. The 2-2 on the way to Colton is a check swing on an outside pitch, strike 3. And Arredondo fans the side. We go to the bottom of the second here in Rancho tonight, 3-1 in favor of the Quakes.
Each Farmer Boys Fastrant offers fresh food fast and features a variety for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, providing made-to-order meals served directly to the table. Popular menu items include burgers, freshly made salads, specialty sandwiches, and their signature side orders, onion rings and deep-fried zucchini. Drive-through and carry-out service is available. Farmer Boys, fresh food fast.
So just how has Irma Thomas, New Orleans Queen of Soul, kept her voice in tune for nearly 50 years?
I've never been a smoker or a drinker, so my biggest vice is eating, and my other vices are all grown.
I'm Scott Simon. Irma Thomas, her vices and virtues, her new album, plus all the week's news, Saturday and Weekend Edition from NPR News.
Saturday morning on KVCR, San Bernardino.
Hospitals can be very scary for children, but at Loma Linda University Children's Hospital, they understand the need to provide a cheerful and friendly environment to each child. From cuts to transplants, they treat each child with love, concern, and personal attention. Loma Linda University Children's Hospital is committed to the children of Southern California. Information at 1-800-825-KIDS.
With the Quakes getting 3 runs in the first inning, you might be interested to know that going into tonight's ball game, Inland Empire starters in the last 4 games have been charged with 4 runs, and they were all charged to Justin Thomas last night. 4 runs, 12 hits in 23 innings of work by the starters over the previous 4 games. The starters in the last 17 games have an ERA of 1.87 and have turned in 12 quality starts. And in fact, Inland Empire starters this year have the lowest ERA in the league, as the first pitch of the second to Ryan Leahy is inside. Ryan hitting .246, no homers and 20 runs batted in. He gets a fair share of walks, 18 in 36 games, and he takes a pitch high and away from Nottingham, 2-0. Sixers starters with an ERA of 3.41, Next on the list would be Lake Elsinore. Their starters at 3.52. The 2-0 pitch. That one looked good from here, but evidently missed. And it's 3-0. Sixer starters with 26 wins this year. That is also the most in the California League. San Jose starters have won 25 times as Leahy takes on the inside corner. Leahy struggling a bit of late. Just 3 hits over his last 17 at-bats, and he looks at another strike to run the count to 3-2. Ryan signed by the Angels in June of 2004, so he's in his 3rd year in the organization. Played 39 games with the Quakes here last year as he fouls the pitch back, and the count remains full. Hit .253 with Rancho last year in 150 at-bats. He'll be followed by Tim Duff and then Cody Fuller here in the bottom of the 2nd. Nottingham back with a 3-2 and a ground ball hit to short, fielded by Jeff Dominguez, who goes across to Rogelstad. Rogie had to reach out a bit, but he hauls it in for the out. 1 gone in the Quakes 2nd, and the batter will be the backup catcher Tim Duff, who's only had 63 at-bats this year. And he has been with the Quakes since the beginning. Hitting just .175. He has struck out 21 times in 63 at-bats, so he strikes out every 3 at-bats. Right-handed hitter, swings away and fouls it back. No balls and a strike. Well, Double-A San Antonio, a 4-0 lead on the road tonight. They're playing the Texas Rangers Frisco Rough Rider squad, and Robert Rohrbaugh making his 2nd Double-A start. There's a chopper hit to short. Dominguez will wait for the hop. Fires to Rogelstad, who reaches out. So we have 2 quick outs here in the Quakes 2nd. And here comes Cody Fuller. Robert Rohrbaugh went 7 innings tonight. No runs, 4 hits, walked 2, and struck out 5. He also picked off a runner, meaning he's picked off a runner in each of his 2 starts in the Texas League. Vladimir Valentin with a RBI double and an RBI single tonight. Fuller swings and misses 0-1 to Cody. And Marshall Hubbard with an RBI double. Hubbard has hit in each of the games since going up to Double-A. Mike Wilson tonight 0 for 3 as the pitch is low to Fuller. 1 ball and a strike. Cody hitting .273. But he had .415 in April. He's hitting .211 in June, and he drives one high into left center field. Johnson's not going to get that one. It hits the base of the wall. Fuller into second base, and will stop there with a double. So Nottingham has given up 4 hits the first time through the order, and 3 of them have gone for extra bases. That'll bring us back to the top of the order, and Josh LeBlanc, who grounded to third in his first at-bat. By the way, the Mariners made a trade today with the Cleveland Indians. They acquired first baseman Eduardo Perez from the Indians, and in exchange, Seattle sent Tacoma shortstop, and a guy, of course, who was here for the last half last year as Drubal Cabrera over to the Indians. The first one to LeBlanc on the outside corner. Perez, a guy who will add some pop for Seattle. He's got 8 home runs this year, and he's only played in 37 games for the Indians. He is 36 years old. He had 33 home runs since the start of 2002 in 422 at-bats and 31 doubles. Nottingham's 0-1 to LeBlanc. Josh chased a terrible pitch outside and low, 0-2. Cabrera, just 20 years old, maybe a little bit over his head up in AAA. He was hitting .236 in 60 games for Tacoma, but leading all Pacific Coast League shortstops in fielding, and that's no surprise, those of you who saw him play here last year. The 2-strike pitch to LeBlanc on the hands, foul back. Which means that the Mariners are going to have to make some sort of a roster move when they officially put Perez on the 25-man roster, and you wonder if that might cause some sort of a trickle-down effect. Outfield straightaway. Quakes up 3-1 in the second. Runner at second. Nottingham's pitch to LeBlanc is high and away. So the count to Josh 1-2. LeBlanc coming into play hitting 182 over his last 5 games and just 214 over his last 10 games. And in the contest last night, 1 for 5 with 3 strikeouts. He has fanned 9 times in his last 20 at-bats, and he takes a pitch outside. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, and timeout now as pitching coach Scott Budner is going to head out to the mound, sensing something is not quite right with Nottingham. Last night, I actually forgot to recognize our KVCR faithful fan of the game, and so we'll do 2 of them tonight to make up for last night, as we do each night, or are supposed to do each night, I guess. Give a shout out to one of the season ticket holders, supporter of the ball club. And looking at the list, we will go with, Ray and Barbara Estrada, full season ticket holders out there at Arrowhead Credit Union Park. So that's the makeup from last night. And for tonight, our KVCR faithful fan of the game, full season ticket holder, Russell Fritz. Nottingham delivers. LeBlanc swings and misses, but it gets away from Schweiger, who picks it up, throws to first, and not in time as it gets away. Here comes the runner to the plate. The throw, not in time. Well, some alert base running by Cody Fuller. Schweiger over by the Sixer on deck circle, threw a bouncer up to first that got past Rogelstad. Jack Arroyo backed it up, but Fuller, coming in with a full head of steam, was able to beat the throw. So it will go as a strikeout, which would be Nottingham's 3rd of the night. A wild pitch for allowing LeBlanc to reach. And let's see, the wild pitch will also allow Fuller to go to 3rd, and then an E2, which allows him to score. So now the Sixers in some trouble. A team with no power facing maybe the best pitcher in the league and down 4-1. This is not a very good situation to be in. The batter, Sean Rodriguez, who singled to start the 3-run rally last inning. So Sean Nottingham in a little bit of a pickle. Rodriguez with a home run last night. He's hit 6 of his 15 home runs this year in June. And now a throw over to first base is too late. Inland Empire 12-12 in the month of June. And this, of course, being the final game of the month. So they would need to win tonight to avoid what otherwise would be the 4th straight losing June for 66er ball clubs. The first pitch to Rodriguez outside, 1 ball, no strikes. The Quakes will certainly be glad to turn the calendar. It has been a dreadful month for them. They are 7-17 in June, tied with Modesto for the worst record in the league. They were 13-10 in April, but they're 14 games under 500 since. The next one way outside. Nottingham behind 2-0. And with Rancho entering tonight at 11 games under 500, that would be their, I guess you would phrase it, their low water mark of the year. The first time they have been 11 games under the 500 mark. 2-0 the count. Runner at first, pitch on the way, is downstairs. So Nottingham laboring tonight quite a bit more than we have seen in a long time. Although some of those pitches that have been called balls look very, very close from upstairs here. Rodriguez waiting patiently, and he takes one outside and high, so he draws a walk. The Quakes have 2 aboard here in the second. Remember, LeBlanc struck out, but the wild pitch allowed him to reach, so that would have been the 3rd out of the inning had they gotten him. And now you've got Freddy Sandoval coming up, who struck out in the 1st inning. It's ironic, to an extent, when you think about the first half and then how things have gone recently for the Sixers. From a pitching perspective, it is pretty safe to say that the bullpen carried the team in the first half. You had 2 starters out for a lengthy amount of time with injuries, Rohrbaugh and Jensen. And so they weren't getting a lot of innings out of their starters for most of the first half. As the first one to Sandoval is about a mile outside. And Schweiger's going to head to the mound. 4-1 Quakes in the second. But it looks like now the Sixers starting rotation as it is pretty solid. And while the bullpen is not quite as deep as it was for most of the first half, because the starting pitching has kind of shored up, they're not going to have to use their bullpen as extensively as they did in the first half. So they ought to be in pretty good shape as far as the pitching goes. The pitch on the way, popped up on the right side, foul territory. Rogelstad over by the patio area, and it goes out of play. The stands down the right field and left field lines jut out a bit. They have some of those round-top outdoor patio tables. They have a regular larger picnic area, which is out of view behind the third base area. So that's, I'm assuming, where they would have their larger company barbecues. 1 ball and 1 strike. Freddy Sandoval out of the University of San Diego, an 8th-round draft pick in 2004. Signed at the end of June and didn't start his career until last year. Next one from Nottingham is just a little bit low and away, 2 balls and a strike. Freddy hit .281 for Cedar Rapids last year. He had 34 doubles and finished second in the Midwest League in that category. He'll be 24 in the middle of August. He was born in Tijuana. Has 2 runners on here in the second, and he swings away and misses at the pitch to even the count 2-2. His last year at the University of San Diego, he led his conference with 59 runs batted in. Played 3 years down there for the Toreros and hit 20 home runs, drove in 132 in his collegiate career. And he takes a pitch just barely low and inside. Well, Nottingham is not missing by a whole lot on a lot of those pitches, but he has just not been getting the calls, and as long as it is that way the entire night, no one can really argue with it. But it makes it awfully tough to pitch, and you're also setting yourself up for a very long night and a potentially high-scoring game. The runners will be moving with 2 outs, 3-2, grounded to third, backhanded nicely by Prettyman, long throw, Rogelstad can't get it, and it goes up into the crowd. So LeBlanc will score, Rodriguez will be stopped at third, or are they going to allow him to come in? Now they're going to say he'll have to stop. And we will have to see if they're, yep, it's going to be an E5. That was a very tough play for Prettyman. Hard to say if he would have gotten Sandoval with a good throw. So he winds up at second base. The Sixers, charged with 2 errors tonight, have been playing very well defensively of late. And suddenly now find themselves down 5-1, so the outlook looking kind of bleak even though we're only in the second inning. Here's Michael Collins, who double home run last inning. Collins waiting, and Nottingham missing high. Sean has not had too many first pitch strikes tonight. Going into play tonight, the Sixers had only made 5 errors in their last 9 games since that debacle June the 16th in Visalia when they committed a season-high 6 errors. They are near the top of the league in fielding. 1-0 pitch to Collins, a high fly ball to left field. Craig started back, now he's in, makes the catch, and that will do it for the inning. Well, the Sixers are going to have to hope that Jose Arredondo has an off night, because if he doesn't, there's going to be a long night for the Sixers as the Quakes get 2 more, and at the end of 2, now lead 5-1.
Church's Chicken is proud to be part of the Inland Empire 66ers. With 39 locations throughout the L.A. and Inland Empire area, there's a Church's Chicken near you. Featuring a spicy and original crunchy chicken, crunchy tenders, or spicy chicken sandwich with side selections of mashed potatoes, corn on the cob, and coleslaw. Need to feed an entire baseball team? No problem. Church's is ready to take your order. Church's Chicken, we've got the crunch.
You wouldn't want your favorite sports team to only play offense or only play defense, would you? Allstate would like you to know they have a plan to combine both home and auto insurance to help serve you. Allstate is there to provide assistance for each client. In Rialto, Allstate agent Todd Hagee is there for you at 909-820-7373. At Allstate, you're in good hands. Subject to availability and qualifications, Allstate Insurance Company, Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company, and Allstate Indemnity Company, Northbrook, Illinois.
The White House is furious at the New York Times for revealing a secret program to track terrorist finances. Well, this week on Wait, Don't Tell Me, we will expose a government program that plans to seize 25% or more of every citizen's annual earnings. I'm Peter Sagal. Join us for this explosive revelation, if they allow it, on this weekend's Wait, Don't Tell Me, the news quiz from NPR.
Saturday morning at 10 on KVCR, San Bernardino.
Only 2 other times all year have the Quakes scored as many as 5 runs in a game that Jose Arredondo has started. And the last time was way back on the 30th of April when they beat Lancaster in Lancaster 17-1. And the only other time was also in Lancaster on the 14th of April when they won a 5-4 decision. So until tonight, those were the only 2 times that the Quakes had scored as many as 5 with Arredondo pitching. So you've got a guy who has held the league to a 189 average and has a 2.20 ERA, staked to a 5-1 lead. The Sixers, needless to say, have a lot of work to do as J.B. Tucker leads off and takes outside. J.B. hitting 188. Came up to pinch hit last night and drew a walk in his only plate appearance. The pitch from Arredondo lined into right center. That'll get down for a base hit. Over to cut it off is Cody Fuller. So Tucker with a leadoff single. And the batter will be the shortstop Jeff Dominguez, who made his debut yesterday. Quakes could certainly use a good start. The last time through the rotation, the last 5 games, Rancho starters are 0-4 with an ERA of 9. The pitching staff in the last 10 games has a 6.16 ERA. The starters are 5.4 in the last 10. Dominguez 1 for 5 last night, a RBI and 2 runs scored. Swings and doesn't get it. No balls and 1 strike. The Angels thought enough of Arredondo that they added him to their 40-man roster during the offseason rather than risk losing him in the Rule 5 draft. Sandoval up at third, quick throw to first, and that's not in time. See, this is where the Sixers' lack of pop in the lineup is going to be a problem in the second half. If they get behind by a few runs, they're going to be in for a lot of long nights because they just don't have anybody who can get them a quick fix with a 3-run homer. There's a little looper into left field for a base hit. Dominguez singles. Stopping at second is Tucker. And the bottom part of the Sixer order trying to get something going here. They have 2 on. Now we will see. You're down by 4 in the third against a pretty good pitcher, and you've got your best hitter coming up in Brent Johnson. Would you actually ask him to sacrifice? I'm going to say probably not. Gary Thurman held a team meeting prior to last night's game with Young Chi Chen going up to Double-A. He basically said, look, guys, we're going to have to do things a lot differently from here until the end of the year. And that means a lot of bunting early in games, maybe playing a little more aggressively on the bases, trying to steal a few more, playing a little more hit and run, whatever it might take. But I don't think in this situation you'd bunt with Johnson, especially down by 4. Brent with a single in the first inning to get his hitting streak to 9. Arredondo out of the stretch, and he missed up and in with a curveball, 1-0. Jose, in the Baseball America Top 30 prospect list that they put out prior to each season, rated as the Angels' 17th best prospect. And he would certainly appear to have a pretty good future. The outfield around toward right. Johnson, a very good clutch hitter, hits a bouncer into the hole at short, base hit to left. Tucker will be stopped at third. So the Sixers have loaded the bases with 3 straight singles to open the third. And again, talking about the Sixers' attack with this entirely new-look offense and really no power in there, it is going to be a nickel and dime attack. Bunch of singles, maybe a double here and there. Well, it makes it a little bit tougher, and it certainly makes it more challenging for Gary Thurman from a manager's perspective. You got to really have the wheels turning at all times. Eric Bennett, the pitching coach, has gone out to the mound. And in a moment, Casey Craig will be climbing in to hit. Well, we mentioned it last night, but just to run it by again, the Sixers, while they have the second best average in the league with runners in scoring position, have been the second worst hitting team when the bases have been loaded. In 74 bases loaded at bats, Inland Empire is hitting just .216, and only the High Desert Mavericks at .197 have done a worse job, or a poorer job, I should say, with the bases loaded. And the Sixers' at-bat to RBI ratio is among the worst in the league. The first one on the outside corner to Craig, who grounded out in the first. They are getting, 1.6 at-bats per RBI with the bases loaded, and that is the second worst ratio in the league. Infield at double play depth as the pitch shot to second base ought to be two. Leahy, Rodriguez, back to first, double play. Well, that's sure one good way to get yourself out of a jam, as the Sixers bounce into the twin killing. For them, that would be the 68th they have hit into this year. Tucker scores from third. There is no RBI. And Jeff Dominguez now at third, but you got two outs, and it's 5-2 Quakes. Ronnie Prettyman, an RBI single in the first inning, got a steal a second, then got picked off second by Arredondo. So Ronnie with 29 RBIs on the season, and the first pitch to him is high and away, 1-0. Prettyman coming off a 3-for-21 homestand, hitting .283 at the start of the night. Just 3 extra base hits for the entire month of June. He had 13 in May. The wind and the 1-0 delivery is a little bit low and outside, 2-0. The Angels, the Quakes parent team, made a move today as they brought back up to the big league level Jared Weaver, and in exchange designated his older brother for assignment, Jeff. Prettyman fouls it back, 2-1. Jeff Weaver signing as a free agent after leaving the Dodgers last year, and it was kind of a disastrous year for him with the Angels this year. 16 games, a 3-10 record, and an ERA of 6.29. Jared Weaver, in 2 stints in AAA, was 6-1 with a 1.99 ERA in 12 games. The 2-1 pitch, Prettyman takes a strike. And, of course, he had been called up by the Angels once and went 4-0 with a 1.37 ERA in 4 starts. Then he got sent down when the Angels activated Bartolo Colon. Arredondo with the 2-2 pitch on the way to Prettyman. Swung on, little half-swing looping liner to short, and that'll do it. 1 run, 3 hits, 1 left. You go to the bottom of the third, Quakes up 5-2.
Saturday, September 30th, join KVCR at Riley's Farm in Oak Glen for an old-fashioned good time. Our guests will take hay rides, pick apples, dip candles, make apple cider, and throw an axe. A barbecue dinner will be served with live music and a local history lesson. After a fresh apple pie dessert, we'll clear the barn floor for square dancing and give away prizes and hold a raffle. That's Saturday, September 30th. Call 800-828-4558.
Singer Cassandra Wilson takes us on a musical journey to the Red River Valley.
I love old folk music. From this valley, they say, you are gone. Songs that speak about the vastness of the heartland or the mountains or that thing that we have in America.
Cassandra Wilson, Saturday on All Things Considered from NPR News.
At 5 p.m. on KVCR, San Bernardino.
For 60 years, Best Western has provided rooms that fit your budget. When traveling this summer in California, Hawaii, and Nevada, you're invited to participate in the Best Western Hotel Travel Card Plan and the Baseball Fan Rate, which provides special offers. Experience this summer with the Best Western Hotels of California, Hawaii, and Nevada. Information available at bestwesternbaseball.com.
This is the first time in 8 starts that Sean Nottingham has allowed more than 2 earned runs. He is down 5-2 at the end of 2 innings. And here in the third, a work to Pat Riley, who homered with the man aboard in the first, and then drew Toussaint. Finally, Pat Leahy, or rather Ryan Leahy. Tigers beat the Pirates 7-6 tonight. How about Detroit? 30 games over 500. Tigers last night snapped a 13-game losing streak on a walk-off home run by Freddy Sanchez against Cliff Polite. First pitch of the inning is a liner into left field. That'll get down for a base hit over by the line. Craig hustling over to cut it off, and Riley going to second base. He is just in ahead of the throw. So Riley, who came in hitting .207 over his last 8 games, has a home run and a double tonight. And that'll bring up Toussaint. So Nottingham has given up a home run and a double to the left-hand hitting Riley after giving up one extra base hit to a lefty all year. Now the batter Drew Toussaint has struck out in the first. With the Pirates losing 13 straight and then ending it last night with the walk-off home run, Toussaint hits a bouncer to the right side, backhanded by Rogelstad. He'll go to the bag. So the out recorded, but on the play, Riley will move up 90 feet to third on the first out of the inning, and the Sixers will undoubtedly have to bring the infield in. The batter, Ryan Leahy, grounded out to short in the second. According to the Elias Sports Bureau, that was only the third time since 1900 that a team won a game on a walk-off home run to snap a losing streak of at least 13. And then the Pirates end up losing tonight. The Mets' marvelous Marv Throneberry hit a walk-off home run against Pittsburgh in August of 1962 to end this 13-game losing streak. Pitch to Leahy inside, moves him off the plate. Randy Wynn of Tampa Bay hit a 3-run homer to beat Baltimore in May of '02 to end a 15-game losing streak for the Devil Rays. Quakes up 5-2. Infield is in. Outfield a little bit toward right. Nottingham's 1-0 delivery is a high fly ball to center. That should score the run. Johnson going back. Brent will make the catch. Here comes Riley. And there will not be a play. So the Quakes getting all over the Sixers and Sean Nottingham early. Now lead 6-2 in the third inning. Leahy drives in his 21st run of the year. So it's looking like the Quakes are probably going to snap that losing streak at 6. Only winning 3 times in their last 20. So here's Tim Duff, grounded out in the second. You know, last night when Tom Glavine matched up against Kurt Schilling, he had a couple of 200-plus game winners. There's a swing and a miss by Duff on one. That was only the 4th time in more than 7,400 regular season games at Fenway Park in which each starter had at least 200 wins. Swing and a miss by Duff 0-2. Lefty Grove against Chicago's Ted Lyons in 1941. Fergie Jenkins against the Rangers' Gaylord Perry in 1976. And Luis Tion against the Orioles' Jim Palmer in 1978. And then Glavine and Schilling last night. Nottingham's pitch to Duff is low, 1-2. Schilling was the winning pitcher in the Red Sox win over the Mets. He's now 10-2. And teammate Josh Beckett 10-3. And they join a very elite company. Only the 3rd pair of Red Sox pitchers in the last 60 years to have 10 or more wins before the end of June, as Duff fouls it back. Roger Clemens and Oil Can Boyd did it in 1986, and Clemens and Mike Boddicker for the Red Sox in 1990. And another thing with the red-hot Red Sox, they extended their airless streak to 16 straight games last night to tie the Major League record, as Nottingham misses outside 2-2. That was set by the 92 Cardinals. The Sox have been charged with 6 errors in 37 games at Fenway Park, compared to 26 by the opponent. Duff bounces it to third, a nice short hop on the backhand by Prettyman, who goes to first, and that takes care of Duff as well as the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. And by the way, the Red Sox did not make an error in Florida tonight, so that is 17 straight without an error, and that is a new Major League record. Well, the Quakes adding it on often and early tonight as they score yet another run, scoring in each of the first three against Shaw Nottingham. And we go to the fourth inning with Rancho on top, 6-2.
The first Lazy Boy recliner, introduced in 1928, was a reclining wood slat folding porch chair. It was designed for nature's way of relaxing by following the contour of a person's body, both sitting up and leaning back. Much has changed since then, but one thing hasn't. Every Lazy Boy piece of furniture is still made with quality and comfort in mind. Lazy Boy Furniture Gallery in San Bernardino, Riverside, Victorville, and Ontario Mills.
On the next Weekend America, this farmer had no idea he was living on America's first coast-to-coast highway.
Look right here.
You gotta be kidding.
No,
I know.
It turns into Newark, and then it's to the Rawway.
Okay.
And that's where we are, right? 26.
Well, yeah, but it says Lincoln there. My goodness, I have to apologize about this. I don't believe it.
Before Route 66, there was the Lincoln Highway. Take a ride with us.
Saturday at noon on KVCR, San Bernardino.
It was another time and another place in American life. It was radio. This is Ed Rothar inviting you to join me this week as I Remember Radio for the Jack Benny program. That's Jack Benny, Saturday afternoon at 2 and again Sunday morning at 4 here on KVCR, San Bernardino Riverside, as I Remember Radio.
6-2, Quakes in the lead as we head to the top of the fourth inning. And man, 66ers getting into a little bit of a hole here to start things off. So a tough road to come back, but let's see if they can go ahead and take care of business. Still got a long way to go in this ball game. And of course, if last night was any indication, the bats can definitely come alive at any time. 66ers putting up 14 runs last night, but going to be a tough call here this evening. Jose Arredondo out there pitching for the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes, a very nice pitcher for this ball club. He will be going to pitch for the Arkansas Travelers after this outing here tonight. Double-A baseball for him. Here's Brian Swagger, and Arredondo throws inside for a ball, and we are underway in the top of the fourth. So 6-2, 66ers looking to get back on the board. They scored one run back in the third inning, just last inning. And the 1-0 pitch. That one swung on, tapped up the first baseline foul. So they got one run last inning, and they got one run back in the first inning. So a couple of runs for the 66ers. They were retired 1-2-3 in the second inning. All three batters struck out swinging. Rogelstad, Arroyo, and Colton, all three of them going down hacking on that in the second inning there. So Arredondo out there holding the baseball in his hand, and it looks like the batter, Brian Swagger, broke his stick, so he went back to the dugout to get a new one, and he's getting ready to go here. And he'll walk up to the plate slowly. Kind of strange to see Swagger in the number 4 spot. But then again, kind of strange to see a lot of these guys in the number 4 spot. Of course, Omar Falcone batting there for a couple of times since Mike Wilson has taken off. And here comes the 1-1 pitch from Arredondo. Line drive up the middle. There's a base hit for Swags. A nice job there by Brian Swagger, sending that one right back up the middle. So Swagger gets on the board here, and the 66ers actually had the bases loaded last inning, but a double play really squashed things. Casey Craig ended up hitting into a double play, and that did not help out the 66ers ball club at all. So the hits are coming for the Sixers ball club. In fact, they have 6 hits. The Quakes only have 5 in the ball game, but the big number is 6-2 with the Quakes in the lead. Matt Rogelstad the better. He struck out on his last at bat, and the first pitch to him is down low for a ball. So Arredondo hitting 94 miles an hour on the radar gun. And that is pretty darn good for a starting pitcher. Anytime you throw up there in the 90s and you're a starter, that's pretty solid stuff. And if you can keep it going throughout your start, that's nice. Here's the set, and Arredondo looking over his shoulder, the 1-0. That one's high for a ball. So Rogelstad, good to see him back with the ball club. And poor Rogie, kind of feel bad for the guy. He's been bouncing all over the place. Double-A, single-A, triple-A. Doesn't know where he's going to wake up from one day to the next. Can't be easy on a ball player, I would imagine. But good to have him back here with us. 2 balls and no strikes. The pitch. Swung on. Fouled out of play off to the left side. That'll get out into the parking lot. A little bit different here in Rancho compared to what we have back at Arrowhead Credit Union Park. At Arrowhead Credit Union, the ballpark there in San Bernardino that we play at, the picnic areas are in plain sight of the ball field. Well, here the picnic areas that they have are underneath the ballpark, or basically in the concourse area. And here comes the 2-1 pitch. That one's high for a ball. Arredondo missing a little bit high there, and he's looking at a 3-1 count now to Matt Rogelstad. So Rogie doesn't have his stats even in the book right now for the Inland Empire 66ers, so you got to look around to find stuff on what he's been doing for the ball club. Left-handed batter waves the bat across the plate. Catcher sets up away. That's Duff behind the plate tonight, and the 3-1. Swing and a miss. So that'll make the count 3 balls and 2 strikes, and the home plate umpire says that Rogelstad got a little piece of that baseball. So runner at first base over there, Brian Schwager with a leadoff single to start things off here in the top of the 4th inning. And now a 3-2 count with nobody out. Rogelstad, a lot of weight on his back leg. Waves the bat in circles. And Arredondo with a long hold out there, and Schwager pretends as he's going to go, and the ball's lifted into the left. Heading back to Sant. He's right in front of the warning track. He'll put the mitt up and make the catch. Heading back over to first base will be Brian Schwager. So a long fly out there for Rogie. Hitting the ball the other way into left field. And there's one down, and Jack Arroyo will be the batter. So Arroyo coming up. Arroyo struck out in his last at-bat. A pretty good pitcher out there on the hill for this ball club, man. I tell you, Arredondo having a very nice season, even though the record does not show it. He's 4-6 on the year, but man, coming into tonight, 108 strikeouts under his belt, and he has 4 so far in this ball game, so you can do the math there. 112 strikeouts altogether, including the 4 tonight. The pitch, that one's a breaking ball that misses away. The breaking ball clocking in at 83 miles an hour, so when you got a 94 mile an hour fastball and you can throw a curveball at 83, that's pretty nasty stuff. 1 ball and no strikes to Arroyo. And so Arredondo with those 112 strikeouts, that leads the Cal League. 1 ball and no strikes. A long set again, and now a toss over. Schwager looked like he was leaning towards second base, just got back in safely. Well, overall, you take a look at the total strikeouts for the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes Ball Club. 551 coming into tonight. You add those 4 in there that Arredondo has, so a total of 555. But they're in 6th place overall. Man, you'd figure with Arredondo leading the league with 108 strikeouts, they might be up a little bit higher, but that's just not the case. Another toss over to first, and Schwager back in again. 112 strikeouts. We'll see if he can get any more. He hasn't struck anybody out in the last 2 innings, but he struck out 4 in a row. The last out in the first, and of course 3 outs in the 2nd inning, all coming by the strikeout. Here comes the 1-0. Swung on. Hit deep into center, going back on its LeBlanc. Looks like he has a beat on the baseball. Schwager stops before second base as LeBlanc out there makes the catch, and Schwager will head on back into first. A long fly out to center field. LeBlanc looked like he got a little bit of a late jump, but the ball was hit so high in the air, it was easy for him to go ahead and get a beat on it and get underneath it. That's going to bring up Chris Colton here. So Colton struck out also. He was part of that 3 strikeouts in 1 inning back in the 2nd. Colton getting ready to step in. Colton batting .230 to start the day. Duff sets up away. The pitch, a breaking ball. That looked like it went across the middle of the plate. Might have been a little bit low, though. Well, Sean Nottingham, the starting pitcher for the 66ers, really, even though he's looking pretty decent out there as a starting pitcher for the ball club. The next pitch misses low. He just hasn't fared well as far as wins and losses go. His own record coming into tonight is 3-6, and he's on tap to get a 3-7 mark if he goes on to lose this one tonight. But overall, for the baseball team itself, which is the most important thing, there's a 2-0 that misses way inside. Duff has the ball tip off of his mitt. Going down to second base is Schwager. Schwager trying to slide in head first, but he's out. Well, Schwager gets caught as the ball got away from Duff, but not far enough, and Schwager thought he'd go ahead and try to get second base, but he could not. So another base running error for the 66ers here tonight. That's the second one on the evening. So we'll head to the bottom of the 4th inning with the 66ers down 6-2.
Right here, right now, Toyota Redlands, Toyota Redlands.
Toyota of Redlands is pleased to once again partner with the California League's Inland Empire 66ers. Toyota of Redlands is located at 1139 West Redlands Boulevard with a showroom of Toyota cars and trucks as well as certified pre-owned Toyota vehicles. Open 7 days a week. As part of the local community, Toyota of Redlands believes in personal relationships. Information available at toyotaofredlands.com.
The diamond industry's done a pretty good job getting guys to spend a bundle on engagement rings, but what are couples spending on wedding rings?
The most for a woman's wedding band, I'd have to say, is about $26,000.
$26,000? I'm Chess Vigeland. We price out wedding rings this week on Marketplace Money from American Public Media.
Sunday afternoon at 1 on KVCR, San Bernardino.
I'm Bob Garfield, and on this week's On the Media, the New York Times is in trouble again for reporting on the actions of government. What's a gray lady to do? And the flag-burning amendment fails, but will it rise phoenix-like from the ashes? Plus, a first-time author who's selling his novel to one reader at a time. On the next edition of NPR's On the Media.
Sunday afternoon at 4 on KVCR, San Bernardino.
John Nottingham back out on the hill for the 66ers as they're down in the ball game 6-2 going into the bottom of the fourth. So the Quakes are going to send up Fuller, LeBlanc, and Rodriguez 9, 1, and 2 in the batting order. And then we can take a look at the Cal League scores for you here really quick. Scores from around the league. Bakersfield and Lancaster hooking up in Lancaster, and we will be there next weekend. Lancaster up in the ball game 5-3. That one is in the, looks like the top of the fourth inning in that one. Another ball game. Lake Elsinore is up over High Desert for 1-0. That game being played in Lake Elsinore. Lake Elsinore will be the team visiting us for the 4th of July, so make sure you get your tickets if you haven't got your tickets yet. Should be a dandy of a night out there. And there's a line drive down the left field line. That is a fair ball off the bat of Fuller. Fuller hard around first base. That ball's going down into the corner, into the bullpen. Fuller thinking about third, but he'll pull up at second base as he rounds it. Nice job over there by Craig to get to the ball quickly down the left field line. We've seen a lot of balls so far here in this series go down that left field line and get caught down there. So guys know that they have to go down there and dig that ball out. A lot of little nooks and crannies down there where the ball can get lost. So a leadoff double here for Fuller, and that's his second of the night. He had one over to left center field in his first at bat, and gets this one right down the left field line. So Josh LeBlanc will be the batter. And let's see if we can get you some more scores from the Cal League. San Jose and Modesto all knotted up at 1 apiece. We'll go to the top of the order for LeBlanc. LeBlanc shows bunt, pulls back, and the pitch is outside for a ball. So 1-0. Josh came in to score a run back in the second inning. He reached base on a strikeout, but it was a wild pitch that got away from Schweiger. He wasn't able to throw out LeBlanc. 1-0. Another score coming up from the Cal League for you here in a moment. A 1-0 pitch, bunt shown again, and this time it's laid down up the third base line, but it's going to go well foul over there. Visalia is beating Stockton 5-0. Of course, those are two Northern League teams, so is San Jose and Modesto. So it looks like everybody hooking up within their league except for Bakersfield and Lancaster. Those are the only two ball clubs that are north-south teams playing against each other tonight. 6-2 the score here. Rancho Cucamonga in the lead. 1 ball, 1 strike to LeBlanc. Let's see if he turns and bunts again here with a runner at second base and nobody down. He holds the bat high right now. Now he shows bunt, and Sean Nottingham turns around and looks at second base. Dominguez sneaking in behind the runner, but no throw. Well, just a spectacular evening here. We left San Bernardino probably around 3:30 or so to get over to the ballpark at 4 o'clock. A lot of traffic heading up to Vegas. And you can really see the people leaving for the 4th of July holiday. Bunt shown again, a quick throw down to second base as Schweiger came up throwing. Dominguez sneaking in behind the runner, Cody Fuller, but Fuller dives back in safely. The pitch missed a little bit low. It's 2-1. 2 balls and 1 strike. Man, Schweiger really came out of that crouch very fast. So a 2-1 pitch in the lefty-lefty matchup here. Nottingham setting at the belt. Looks back at second and deals home. The bunt's shown again, and this time it's right to Nottingham. He hops off the mound, turns, throws over to first base, and they get the out there. Cody Fuller moves up to third. So a sac bunt for LeBlanc.
And that's going to be recorded 1-3. Well, here's Sean Rodriguez, and Rodriguez had one heck of a home run yesterday. He leads the team. He has 15 dingers on the year. Not too shabby. 15 home runs. That's second in the Cal League. And the leader, I believe, is the Lancaster Jethawks player who has 20 home runs so far this year. Not to run down his name really quick. Mark Reynolds, indeed, 20 home runs for the Lancaster Jethawks. Sean Cumberland, Ben Harrison, and Sean Rodriguez all have 15 home runs. So the closest guys are 5 behind the leader, Mark Reynolds. Sean Rodriguez stepping in. Now the infield will play in for the Inland Empire 66ers. And they're going to go and walk Sean. Swagger stepping up. And he just holds the right hand out. And the first pitch goes outside. So it looks like they're going to go ahead and intentionally walk Sean Rodriguez here. Well, 3 runs in the first inning for Rancho. 2 runs in the second. 1 run here in the third. Or 1 run there in the third last inning. We're in the 4th inning here. The Rancho has scored in every inning so far, and they're looking to put another one up on the board now. The next pitch, away. So 1 more pitch, and they'll be sending Rodriguez down to first, and Rodriguez has reached base every at-bat so far here tonight. A single back in the first inning to left field, and there's ball 4. A walk in the second, and now he walks here on an intentional walk. And the 66ers have hit so many batters this year. I put hit by pitch instead of intentional walk in my scorebook. I'll go ahead and make a quick change there. Well, here in the month of June, 66ers are 12-12 this month after going at league best 19-10 in the month of May. They need to win tonight to avoid their 4th straight losing June. For the Inland Empire 66ers, the 05 squad set the team mark for the worst June by going only 6-19. Runners at first and third with 1 down, and the batter Sandoval. The pitch to him, a breaking ball, swung on, popped up on the infield. That's going to get in foul territory. Rogelstad heading over towards the dugout for the 66ers, and he'll make the catch. So foul ball out, and that's going to make 2 outs here in the inning. And the 66ers are going to try to squeak out of this one after a leadoff double by Cody Fuller. Well, to go along with the worst June, we also got this stat. May was the first time since July of 2003 that a San Bernardino team won as many as 18 games in a single month. May was only the 7th time in San Bernardino club history that has won 19 games in a month in the team's 20-year history. Michael Collins stepping in. He has a hard double here in the series. Actually, 3 hard doubles in the series. 1 double here in the ball game and an RBI. First pitch to him's in there for a strike. And Michael Collins doing very well with the bat this season. Having a heck of a time, though, behind the plate. Hasn't shown much there. He's not a horrible catcher by any means, but just not the top-notch catcher. The 0-1. Swung on. That one's hit hard and deep in the left field. Will it get out of the ballpark? It's on a line, and that one is over the fence. A home run for Michael Collins. Man, he blasted that one good and hard on the line. It didn't even clear the second fence out there. There's 2 fences. Of course, there's the first home run fence with the yellow line going across it. And that indicates it's the home run wall. And then, of course, there's another fence right behind it that has advertisement on it. And if the ball goes over the first fence, it is a home run. That is going to be the 5th home run of the year for Michael Collins. And, man, that thing got out of here in a hurry. The score is now 9-2. And that was a 3-run home run. So you add up the RBIs, and he now has 49 on the season, as he had another one here earlier in the ballgame. Here's Pat Riley. He swings and misses at the first pitch he sees. Riley has had a home run here in the ballgame, so a couple of home runs going out of the yard here tonight. And the next pitch in there for a strike. And that was very reminiscent of the Sean Rodriguez home run from last night. Man, Sean Rodriguez's ball got out of here in a hurry last night. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swung on a miss. There's strike 3, and that's going to do it here for the inning. But, man, 3 runs coming in to score for the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes, all coming off the bat of Michael Collins after 2 were down with runners at first and third. Tough outing here for Sean Nottingham. He is not looking good so far in this one, giving up 9 runs and 7 hits. The 66ers are down 9-2. We'll come right back.
Each Farmer Boys Fastrant offers fresh food fast and features a variety for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, providing made-to-order meals served directly to the table. Popular menu items include burgers, freshly made salads, specialty sandwiches, and their signature side orders, onion rings and deep-fried zucchini. Drive-through and carry-out service is available. Farmer Boys, fresh food fast. Father's Rights Legal Office in San Bernardino, helping with child support issues, assistance with wage garnishments, document preparation, and providing attorneys if needed. Information at 909-838-5696. Father's Rights Legal Office, because kids need their dad.
Having plumbing problems? Is it time for a new roof? Do you have a geyser in your yard every time your sprinklers come on? Well, I'm Matt Levesque, and I've got a new show for you. Listen on Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock to get the answers you need on Construction Zone Radio. Phone us at 1-800-841-1999 and tell us your plight. That's our home repair and remodeling show, Construction Zone Radio, Saturday mornings at 11 on KVCR, San Bernardino, Riverside.
9-2, and the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes are up in this ball game. Doing a very nice job here. A couple of home runs for the Quakes, one coming off the bat of Michael Collins just last inning, and we're heading to the top of the 5th here. And coming up for the 66ers, and they definitely have their work cut out for them here this evening. It's going to be Chris Colton to lead things off. J.B. Tucker will follow, and then Jeffrey Dominguez will come up to the plate. So 7, 8, 9 in the batting order for the 66ers ball club, and Arredondo looking very sharp so far here this evening. Let's see if he can keep it up. He gave up 1 run back in the first inning, and immediately you thought, well, maybe Arredondo has checked out already, even though he's heading to Arkansas after this start here tonight. First pitch is swung on. Chris Colton drives it over to Rodriguez at short. Rodriguez comes up firing, and Chris Colton will be down 6-3. So 1 down here, and J.B. Tucker will be the batter. He singled in his last at bat. But, you know, when you have a guy that comes out and allows the very first runner of the ballgame, or the very first guy that leads off of the ballgame to turn around and score, well, you start to think, well, maybe Arredondo does not have his mind into the ballgame, and all of a sudden, man, he really buckles down here, and he's doing pretty well, only giving up 2 runs on 6 hits. And the first pitch to Tucker, that one's in there for a strike. So J.B. Tucker with a single in the ballgame over to right center field. Tucker into a deep squat. Looks like he has a little bit choke on the bat out there. The 0-1, that one's way inside, and that got a piece of Tucker. He had to bail out on it. It looked like he got him on the elbow, so Tucker is on base one more time here, but I'm sure he would have much rather had a hit, even though he was hit by a pitch, and immediately Matt Toth, the Inland Empire 66er trainer, is out there to try to help out the young man, and they're definitely taking a long look at this one. Also coming down, Rafael Santo Domingo. He wants to get in on the action and see exactly what's going on. That might have got the tricep of Tucker. Well, he's DHing tonight, so he doesn't have to worry about throwing the baseball, and that did get him in the right arm. And that might swell up on him just a little bit. He'll probably have a bruise for sure tomorrow morning. And he's going to take a walk up the first baseline, try to get some air into his lungs. I'm sure it's not an easy thing to do after getting hit like that. Not fun. When you get hit on the fleshy part, that does not feel good. Well, it doesn't feel good getting hit anywhere, I'm sure. Well, bone's always hard as well, but man, you get hit in the tricep with those small muscles, that really hurts. Now you get hit in the rear end or on the thigh, not quite as bad. In fact, that's where you'd rather get hit, and even in the back, it's not that bad as long as it's not directly on the spine. There's some meat there. Well, here's Jeffrey Dominguez. He has a base hit here in the ball game. Jeffrey got a base hit last night as well in his first appearance with the 66ers. And the first pitch to him, that one's on the outside corner, good for a strike. So Dominguez hitting the ball around a little bit, working well out of the 9 hole so far here for the 66ers ball club. On deck, the top of the order, Brent Johnson. The catcher sets up away, and here comes the 0-1. That one is outside for a ball. So Arredondo getting ready to leave here, and he started the night with a great ERA of 2.20. This is his 15th start of the year. He has had 6 quality starts in a row, and this will be another one for him, so he'll make it 7 after this one. Unless he just blows up all of a sudden here in this outing. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. That one swung on, ground ball over to the shortstop Rodriguez. He'll flip to Leahy for one, over to first base, and there it is, a double play. And that'll wrap things up here for the 66ers. So Dominguez hits into a double play. And man, that is not a good sight. And we'll go ahead and end that half of the inning, and we'll go to the bottom of the 5th with the 66ers down 9-2.
For 60 years, Best Western has provided rooms that fit your budget. When traveling this summer in California, Hawaii, and Nevada, you're invited to participate in the Best Western Hotel Travel Card Plan and the Baseball Fan Rate, which provides special offers. Experience this summer with the Best Western Hotels of California, Hawaii, and Nevada. Information available at bestwesternbaseball.com.
At Loma Linda University Children's Hospital, they're committed to providing your child with advanced care as the only children's hospital in the Inland Empire. From cuts or broken bones to cardiac care and transplants, the medical staff at Loma Linda University Children's Hospital attends to each child with love, concern, and personal attention. Loma Linda University Children's Hospital. Information at 1-800-825-KIDS.
They couldn't be more different or more popular. 2 of the biggest tourist destinations in the western United States are the desert oasis of Las Vegas, Nevada, and the ruggedly beautiful Yosemite National Park in California's Sierra Nevada mountains. Hi, I'm Rick Steves. It's high stakes and high mountain trails, hobnobbing with both Lady Luck and Mother Nature on this week's Travel with Rick Steves.
Sunday at noon on KVCR San Bernardino.
Fun and games going on out on the field with the mascot and a couple of the promotions people for the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. Kind of a light crowd here this evening, but of course the 4th of July holiday right upon us. It's going to be Tuesday is the 4th of July, and we're going to have a big outing for the Inland Empire 66ers ball game. The Lake Elsinore Storm will be there, and we're going to have a baseball game, and then after that, the orchestra is going to get going, and then there's going to be a bunch of fireworks. So if you don't have tickets yet, feel free to stop by the ballpark, pick up the telephone, or just go ahead and get on the internet and get yourself some tickets for the ball game. Should be a dandy of a night. It's going to be lots of fun. I'll be there. You should be too. So here we go with the bottom of the 5th inning, and the Quakes have scored in every inning so far here tonight. Not one inning where there's not a filled-in black mark on my scorebook. 9-2 the score. And coming up to the plate is Drew Toussaint. Quakes in the lead here, and we'll go ahead and get you some major league scores. Still interleague play going strong in the majors. First pitch from Nottingham, swung on the miss. Toussaint swinging wildly at that pitch. Looks like it was going to be outside. Well, Toussaint has struck out 72 times this year. Strikes out just about every third at bat. The 0-1. That one is on the inside corner, good for a strike. So 0-2 here quickly to Toussaint. Nottingham working out of the stretch. Or out of the windup, excuse me, and that pitch is swung on. Ground ball. Diving towards Dominguez. It goes right underneath his minute into center field for a hit. Yeah, Drew Toussaint is on. He has himself a single. Three strikeouts tonight for Nottingham against the Quakes. Toussaint is one of them, but he gets a single for himself there. Right underneath a diving Dominguez. Here's Ryan Leahy. Leahy 0 for 1. He had a sac fly, though. Sack in the 3rd inning to drive in a run. So he's coming up to the plate. Right-handed batter's ready to go. Toussaint with his lead from first, and the first pitch is on the outside corner. Good for a strike. Well, here's those major league scores for you. The Yankees beat the New York Mets 2-0, so the Subway Series going strong one more time here this weekend. Jason Giambi hit his 24th home run in that ballgame. Nottingham now working out of the stretch. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swung on. One hopper over to Dominguez. He backhands. Throws over to Arroyo for one. A long throw over to first base, and it's not in time. Nice job by Dominguez to run that one down. He got it over to Arroyo very quickly and to get the out there at second. So a 6-4 put out. That's the first out here in the 5th inning. Ryan Leahy is safe on a fielder's choice, and Tim Duff will be the batter. Duff 0 for 2 in the ballgame. Minnesota beat Milwaukee 8-2, and man, Minnesota on one heck of a run right now. They're doing very well for themselves. Their record is 43-35, and that is just a tough American League Central Division. First pitch to Tim Duff is a breaking ball, misses inside. Nice block behind the plate by Schwager. Radke got the win in that one. Torrey Hunter had a home run, his 13th of the year. Monroe had one as well, his 20th, and Tiffy, he hit his second for the Minnesota Twins. So all the home runs on the night coming for the Twins ball club. And the Quakes here, ball club, or the fans trying to get behind their ball club. And here's a high hopper over to Arroyo. He'll back up, can't go over to second base, so he'll flip the ball to first for one. The ball is just hopped way too high off the plate. And Arroyo had to go ahead and just take any out he can get, and that was over at first base. So a 4-3 put out there. That'll be the second out, and Ryan Leahy moves up on the play. That'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Cody Fuller. Fuller getting ready to step in here. And 16 games for Tim Duff without an extra base hit. He's might have to wait another one here after getting out there. Here's Cody Fuller. And the check swing by Cody. Did he go around? The first base umpire said he did. Cody went around on that play. And it's 0-1 quickly here to Fuller. He has scored twice. He has 2 doubles here in the ball game. And he's probably looking for another one right now. Nottingham working out of the stretch with a runner at second base. Ryan Leahy over there. Once again, the crowd trying to get behind their ball club. And the 0-1 pitch from the lefty. That one swung on, tipped into the glove of Schwager, so it's going to be 0-2 with 2 down. So no balls and 2 strikes. On deck, Josh LeBlanc, the leadoff hitter. Waving the bat across the plate is Fuller. He swings a 2-tone colored bat. Black on the top, ash colored on the bottom. Cody Fuller, now on a 4-game hitting streak. He had 3 hits against High Desert back on the 24th. And a hit in his last game that he played in on the 21st against Lake Elsinore. He's getting some playing time here, putting together a 4-game hitting streak. That's always nice to have. At one point, just recently, in the month of June, he had 7 straight games where he didn't get a hit. But he has 2 here tonight. The 0-2, that one's high and away. Schwager trying to pull it down. Dodgers are up over the Angels, 4-1. That game in the top of the 6th inning. Arizona has beaten Oakland 3-0. That game being played in Oakland. They're in the 6th. Nottingham setting at the chest. Looks back at second and deals on the 1-2. That one is, well, that was high for a ball, but man, Schwager was really off. He had no idea what that pitch was, and I don't know how he caught it. Looks like he caught the ball with his chest protector, and he's wiggling his hand out there a little bit. So he did not catch the ball with the mitt. I think he hit him in the chest. He was probably crossed up out there, looking for some other pitch than what was thrown. Colorado beating Seattle 2-0. Mariners trying to put a little winning streak together, trying to get some wins under their belt and climb back into the AL West race. Colorado's winning this one, though, 2-0. That game being played in Seattle. Toronto over Philadelphia, big 8-1. That's a final. David DeLucci with a home run for the Phillies. Overbay had 2 home runs on the night. For the Blue Jays, Eric Hinsky had a home run as well. 2 balls and 2 strikes here with 2 down to Fuller. The pitch swung on. That's tapped up the third baseline. Prettyman's going to charge, and that one's going to be foul. So Roddy Prettyman hustling in, but he knew the ball was going to go foul, so he just gloves it and hands it to the umpire. The umpire will look the ball over and throw it back out. So 2-2 again here to Cody Fuller. Get you some other scores from around the majors. Minnesota 8, Milwaukee 2. Told you that score already. For some reason, the scoreboard has changed on me, though. Texas beat Houston 3-1, so the Battle of Texas going on. And the 2-2 pitch again. That one is in the dirt, blocked by Schwager behind the plate. And, of course, now some games from the National League ballparks for you in interleague play. Kansas City and St. Louis all tied up at 5 apiece. That's a dandy of a matchup. Giants and Padres looking at a 4-4 tie. That, of course, not a interleague ball game. Giants down in San Diego for a 3-game series. And actually 4 games. They're going to have a doubleheader, a split doubleheader on Saturday. They're going to play in 2 games. I believe it's a 1 o'clock and a 7 o'clock start in San Diego. Ray Durham has a home run for the Giants. He's been on fire lately. Pedro Feliz hitting number 11. Here's the 3-2. Breaking ball swung on. Whoa! Smoked right over the dugout. But luckily there's a net there blocking the fans. And the ball went right into the net. The ball came bouncing onto the field. Well, good thing, because somebody probably, if it would have hit somebody, might have been hurt very badly. White Sox and Cubs hooking up in Chicago. North side baseball for you. Playing at Wrigley Field, and the White Sox win 6-2. So another 3-2 pitch coming up here with Ryan Leahy out there at second base. 2 down, bottom of 5. Nottingham will deal home. Breaking ball swung on. Dominguez fields the baseball, comes up throwing hard, and it's a close play, but man, he is out by a step. So Cody Fuller has done so to the Quakes here, but they are still up in the ball game by a score of 9-2. We're going to head to the 6th.
Join KVCR and Andre Rieu for his tour stop at the Arrowhead Pond of Anaheim this December. The Waltz King and his Johann Strauss Orchestra will perform 2 evening concerts Monday, December 4th and Tuesday, December 5th. Information and reservations are available online at kvcr.org or by phone at 800-533-5827. That's 800-533-KVCR.
This week, a Prairie Home Companion is at Tanglewood with the Waylon Jennings, Robin and Linda Williams and the Hope for Gospel Quartet, Geraldine Steele. And Meryl Streep is with us as Yolanda Johnson of the Johnson Girls, and also to read her favorite American poems. Guy Noir as well, the news from Lake Wobegon this week on a Prairie Home Companion.
Saturday afternoon at 3 on KVCR, San Bernardino, Riverside.
On the next California Report, as Mexico prepares to elect a new president, we'll hear what impact the election's outcome could have north of the border. Also, how the town of Mariposa is struggling after a massive rock slide closed access to Yosemite. And the state's hot dog eating champ goes for the world record. I'm Scott Schaefer, and I hope you'll join me for the next California Report.
Saturday evening at 6 on KVCR, San Bernardino.
Bill Burns joining you here at the Epicenter along with Mike Sager. And we're heading to the 6th inning. 9-2, Quakes in the lead. Field crew is out there taking care of the field between innings. Looking nice now. After they got done raking it up, it's ready to go. So Arredondo going back onto the pitching bump out there. And we still have some Major League scores to get to before we wrap that up. Coming up to the plate, though, is going to be at the top of the order for the Inland Empire 66ers. It's going to be Brent Johnson to lead it off, followed by Casey Craig and then Ronnie Purdyman. So 1, 2, 3 in the order for you. 9-2, Quakes in the lead. Arredondo looks over the mitt, and he winds and deals. Swung on, ground ball over to the shortstop, Rodriguez. He fields it nicely. Comes up throwing, and the ball is a little bit high, but Collins over there is a big guy. He'll stretch and make the catch. So a 6-3 put out, and Johnson's retired for the first time tonight. He had a couple of hits coming into that at bat. A couple of singles for him, one over to right field and one over to left. Well, I was telling you, the White Sox beat the Cubs at Wrigley Field. Garland with the win, Marshall with the loss, Uribe with the home run in the ball game. And Barrett, the catcher for the Chicago Cubs, apologized to Brzezinski as the first pitch to Casey Craig misses for a ball. Yeah, they got together, and I guess Barrett apologized to A.J. Brzezinski. Well, that's a heck of a story right there. Next pitch misses away just barely. Arredondo trying to paint the outside corner. Just missed. 2-0 here to Casey Craig. Well, that's an interesting story. Barrett, of course, came out throwing blows to A.J. Brzezinski after Brzezinski slid in hard a couple of weeks ago. Next pitch misses away. It's 3-0 here to Casey Craig. And now Barrett wants to apologize. That's pretty cool. You don't see that too often in baseball. Actually, I can't recall seeing it ever. Here's the 3-0 pitch to Craig. That one is on the outside corner, good for a strike. Well, Tampa Bay and Washington hooking up. Well, that's a heck of an interleague matchup for you. Tampa Bay wins this one 11-1 over the Washington Nationals. The 3-1 swung on, popped way up in the air, going back LeBlanc. He's going way back there, and that ball is hit pretty deep, and it is off the home run fence, and that one is out of here, and actually off the eyeball out there in center field, the hitter's eye, and it is a home run for the Inland Empire 66ers, Casey Craig, and that's his first with the ball club. Man, that thing was so high in the air, kind of hard to believe it got out of here. That was a blast. So the 66ers back up on the board here. They have 3 runs in the ball game. Casey Craig really driving one. Here's Ronnie Prettyman coming up to the plate. I was kind of confused out there, trying to realize who the heck was up at the plate. And man, that ball was hit so well. Kind of a surprise. Here's Prettyman, swing and a miss. When you see Mike Wilson, a guy like that hit a ball like that high and that deep, you don't expect a little guy like Casey Craig. Casey Craig, 5'8", 5'9", probably weighs 185 pounds. Kind of a surprise to see him hit the ball so hard. The 0-1. That one is in there for a strike. A breaking ball to Ronnie Prettyman. Well, the Detroit Tigers over the Pittsburgh Pirates today, 7-6. And the Tigers now 30 games over 500 for the season. Amazing. Having a great year. Good luck to them. I hope they do well this season. Here's the 0-2. Swung on and missed. A half swing, or half-hearted swing by Ronnie Prettyman. Ball was way outside. Shouldn't have been swinging at it, and he knew it. Here's Brian Schwager coming up to the plate. Schwag's taking a slow stroll. And Schwager with a single here in the ball game. He's 1 for 2. Cincinnati beat Cleveland. Cincinnati having a great year as well. 9-8 the win there for Cincinnati. Hollinsworth had a home run for the Cleveland Indians. Adam Dunn had one for the Reds. A couple other home runs in the ball game. Adam Kearns had a home run. First pitch down low to Brian Schwager, and it's 1-0 to him. Atlanta beat Baltimore 5-3. Braves keep struggling even though they get the win here tonight. That pitch on the outside corner, good for a strike. It's 1-1 now. Jose Arredondo looking very nice. Arredondo looks over the mitt, and the 1-1 pitch with the high leg kick. A curveball swung on. That's fouled off down the right line, and that's going to get out of play. Now the last score for you is Florida 5, Boston 2. Dontrell Willis with the victory. That game being played in Florida. So the Red Sox going all the way down south to play some baseball in a National League ballpark. And the Red Sox had their winning streak stopped at 12 games with that loss. So they were looking for number 13, but they cannot get it. Next pitch misses low to Brian Schwager. 9-3 the score here. 66ers down in the ball game. They're on a 5-game winning streak right now, but a long way to go back into this one. With Arredondo out there, he's looking sharp. The 2-2. That one's a little bit high. So Schwager going to move some dirt around out there on the field. Arredondo been with a couple of clubs. Played with some Arizona ball clubs, of course, in the fall league and in the summer leagues for a couple of seasons. And here comes the 3-2 pitch. Breaking ball, that's inside. So that'll be ball 4 to Schwager. He played with Arkansas last year, also played in Orem last season. Finds himself landing here. So kind of a weird thing going on with Arredondo and where he's been. He's been up to AA Arkansas once. Then they had him in Orem with the Owls, which is actually rookie ball for the Angels organization. He was in the Arizona Fall League in 2004, and the pitch misses. Matt Rogestad takes the first pitch for a strike. So he's kind of been all over the place. He was a shortstop when he first got started, and he batted 191, and they moved him to a pitcher in 2004. Next pitch, down low for a ball to Rogie. So Rogie looking at a 1-1. Showed great arm strength, and they decided to move Arredondo over to the pitching mound. And, of course, he's been bringing it at 94. Sometimes he hits as high as 97. The 1-1. Swung on and missed. That one hit 92 on the gun out there. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Matt Rogestad. Rogie 0 for 2 in the ball game, a strikeout, and then he flew out to left field. Rogie, like I said earlier, jumping all around the place in minor league baseball for the Mariners organization. And he's looking at a 1-2 count. Here it comes, and that one's swung on. A ground ball over to the first baseman Collins. It's a foot race to the bag, and Collins is going to win that one over Rogelstad, and that's going to be the third out here. Another nice job here, even though Casey Craig got a home run off Jose Arredondo, just one pitch that really messed things up for Arredondo in that inning. But the 66ers are still down in the ballgame. They're losing 9-3. We're going to head to the bottom of the sixth.
Singer Cassandra Wilson takes us on a musical journey to the Red River Valley.
I love old folk music. From this valley, they say, you are gone. You know, songs that speak about the vastness of the heartland or the mountains or that thing that we have in America.
Cassandra Wilson, Saturday on All Things Considered from NPR News.
At 5 p.m. on KVCR, San Bernardino.
Mark Childress wore a gray tux to his high school prom. The rest of the details are a little sketchy.
It's like the minute that we leave it, we all get this great collective amnesia for who we were, you know, unless we happen to be a homecoming queen or something. But very few of us with that, right?
Prom night becomes a plot twist in Mark Childress's new novel, One Mississippi, Sunday on Weekend Edition from NPR News.
Sunday morning on KVCR, San Bernardino.
Father's Rights Legal Office in San Bernardino understands that children need their dad, specializing in custody, visitation, DA issues, and help to reduce child support payments. Information at 909-838-5696. Father's Rights Legal Office, because kids need their dad.
Well, new pitcher for the Inland Empire 66ers. Juan Donier coming out to throw the baseball around for the ball club here. See how he does in the evening. Nottingham has made it through 6 innings, but he's on the losing end of things right now for the 66ers. As the ball club is down 9-3. Gave up 3 runs in the first inning, and man, the Quakes have been all over him ever since. A couple home runs in the ball game, one coming from the bat of Pat Riley, the other one coming off the bat of Michael Collins. So Juan Donier out there warming up for the Inland Empire 66ers. Hasn't been with the club very long. In fact, this will only be his 3rd appearance with the team, giving up 4 hits so far. Has no record, no wins, no losses, no saves. Given up 2 runs, both of them have been earned. He has struck out 1 batter. So Donier getting some work in out here. See what he can do for the ball club. Well, the 66ers, if they would have won tonight, wouldn't have been able to match their high of being over the mark of 500 for the season. They were looking to go plus 13, and that is as high as they have gotten this year, which is a good mark. They're going to fall a little bit short of matching that mark here this evening, it looks like, unless they put one heck of a rally together within the next couple of innings, as the night is getting a little bit later and later. And we're going to, next time we see the 66ers come up to the plate, it'll be the 7th inning. There's a swing and a miss by the leadoff hitter, Josh LeBlanc. He falls behind 0-1. LeBlanc officially 0 for 2 in the ball game. He had a sac bunt. The 0-1, that one's way inside. Donier getting LeBlanc to step back and do a little dance out there. 1 ball and 1 strike here. Donier working out of a 45-degree angle and swing and a miss. Nice little off-speed pitch there. Looked like a changeup out of the hand to Donier. So Juan making the ball dance a little bit. He stands at a 45-degree angle, works out of the windup. On the hill, stands on the first base side of the rubber, and the 1-2 pitch. That one is down low for a ball, blocked by Schweiger behind the plate. Same defense out there for the 66ers. They got Prettyman at third base, Dominguez at short, Jack Arroyo at second base, and over there at first is Rogelstad. The 2-2. That one's down low for a ball as well. Now, including the newcomers, 66ers have had 22 different pitchers, 11 different starters, and 44 players total this year. The 3-2 swung on, popped up. That's going to get out of play. Prettyman's going to go over, take a look at it, but it's going to be 5 rows back. So the 66ers with 44 total players playing for this ball club this year. Here's the team record, 56 players all of last season. The team has lost 10 players who were part of the first half championship. 8 who were on the opening day roster. So 3 balls and 2 strikes, so really a different ball club out here altogether, and it's going to be strange to find out how this thing comes out. The 3-2 swung on. That one's fouled back to the fence, and the ideal thing would have this team just keep on winning. Even though they're behind in the ball game here tonight, they're doing well in the second half. They're off to a 5-1 start here in the second half of play, and overall they're looking at a 44-32 record here tonight. The 3-2 pitch. That one's fouled. Strike 3 on the inside corner, and going down looking is LeBlanc. So LeBlanc has struck out twice here tonight, even though he reached base back in the second inning on the strikeout. The ball got away from Swagger then, and LeBlanc was able to go down to first base. So LeBlanc, he strikes out about every third at bat. And on the year, his total number of strikeouts, 66. 66 strikeouts. This is only the 55th game he has played in. You never want to have more strikeouts than games played. Here's Sean Rodriguez. He could hit the ball hard. First pitch to him, popped up, fouled away. That's going to get out of play and into the stands. The empty stands here tonight in Rancho. Usually on a Friday, Saturday night here in this ballpark, things busting at the seams with people. Not that way tonight. Of course, on our way over here, we saw a lot of people heading up to Vegas in their cars, and it was pretty much stalled out. Here's a ground ball to Prettyman. He bobbles at a touch, gets the ball back in his hand, though, throws over to first, and Rodriguez is down 5-3. 2 down, Freddy Sandoval will be the batter. So 2 down in 7th inning, right around the corner, and the 66ers would like to try to at least get Arredondo out of the ball game. That might be a help. Get into the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes bullpen. That might give them some life. Of course, Arredondo, the starting all-star pitcher, by the way, for the Cal League. He only threw an inning, I believe. And the first pitch to Sandoval is a little bit low. Sandoval with no hits here in the ball game tonight. 0 for 3. The 1-0. That one is in there for a strike at the knees on the outside corner. Sandoval did not play for a while, from May 22nd through June 8th. The 1-1 pitch, swung on, hit into center field. Coming in quickly is Johnson. He'll get underneath the baseball and make the catch. But Sandoval, during that time, had a back strain, and he was not able to play, but he's back in action here. But 3 outs have been made here for the Quakes, and we're going to head to the top of the 7th inning. The 66ers are down 9-3, and Mike Sager's going to be back to take it the rest of the way.
Right here, right now, Toyota Redlands, Toyota Redlands.
Toyota of Redlands is pleased to once again partner with the California League's Inland Empire 66ers. Toyota of Redlands is located at 1139 West Redlands Boulevard with a showroom of Toyota cars and trucks as well as certified pre-owned Toyota vehicles. Open 7 days a week. As part of the local community, Toyota of Redlands believes in personal relationships. Information available at toyotaofredlands.com.
Hi, I'm Scott, and I am a nursing major at San Bernardino Valley College. Valley College has given me the opportunity to realize my goals and aspirations to someday become a registered nurse. I have received so much help from a number of people from different offices on campus, and I am grateful for everything they have done for me. Because of Valley College, I can continue on to pursue a master's degree in nursing at a 4-year university.
Enhancing your life with quality education.
Great Performances takes you to Lake Las Vegas, where Andrea Bocelli sings love songs under the desert sky. For a night of amore from Vegas, don't miss Andrea Bocelli, only on Great Performances.
Saturday night at 7 on KVCR TV, Channel 24.
Well, hello again, everybody, as we go to the 7th, 9-3 Quakes, and Jose Arredondo in his final game before going up to Double-A, trying to get himself a victory tonight, starting Jack Arroyo off with a strike. Arroyo has fanned and flied out, and the next one is a curveball inside around the elbow, so the count will even up at a ball and a strike. A much lighter than usual crowd tonight on a Friday, but it is the start of a holiday weekend. 1-1 to Arroyo is hit in the air to right field. Coming in is Cody Fuller. and he will make the catch out at his side. One gone in the 7th for Chris Colton, who has struck out and grounded out. Well, one of those nights for Sean Nottingham. He hasn't had a game like this. Well, frankly, he hasn't had a game like this all year. His first start of the year at Maverick Stadium on April the 9th, he gave up 6 runs, all earned in 3 innings. Tonight, 9 runs, 7 earned in 5 innings, 8 hits, and all but 1 for extra bases. He gave up 2 home runs. The first pitch to Colton low, 1 ball, no strikes. Nottingham had gone 7 straight starts, allowing no more than 2 earned runs until tonight, so one of those nights everybody has on occasion. Arredondo's pitch to Colton has popped up. That's on the left side of the infield. The third baseman, Sandoval, on the dirt, will make the catch for out number 2. So Colton gone, and J.B. Tucker will climb in. So on one hand, you had the Quakes, whose starters had an ERA of 9 over their last 5 games. And they're getting a pretty good outing from Arredondo tonight. Not as many strikeouts as he would normally have in a game. He has struck out 5. And then you have the Sixers, on the other hand, whose starters had a 1.87 ERA in their last 17 games. Andy Hargrove is going to pinch hit. So Hargrove hitting for Tucker in inning number 7. Tucker the DH, so there will be no change, obviously, when the Sixers take the field. Tucker tonight had a single and a run and a hit by pitch, and I wonder if maybe he was hurt after getting hit by the pitch, and that's why he is not batting. In any event, Hargrove, 3 for 17 since joining the team. Takes a pitch low, 1 ball, no strikes. Tomorrow night at 7:05, game 3 of the series. Fernando Rodriguez for the Quakes as Hargrove pops it up right around the plate, and it will be Duff, the catcher, standing on the chalk line to make the catch. That'll do it for the Sixers. Anyway, tomorrow night, right-hander Fernando Rodriguez going for the Quakes. Right-hander Sidney Bayo on the hill for the Sixers. We go to the bottom of the 7th, all Rancho tonight, leading the Sixers 9-3.
When you listen to Car Talk, you benefit from our decades of experience. We use it all the time, and it never works. And you'll learn about our highly specialized diagnostic techniques.
So you need to do the Tom Magliozzi fuel pump field test.
Okay, how do you do that?
You hit it with a hammer.
We're Click and Clack the Tappet Brothers for advice we know you won't get anywhere else.
Thank God.
Join us for Car Talk.
Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday mornings at 11. KVCR, San Bernardino.
Hospitals can be very scary for children, but at Loma Linda University Children's Hospital, they understand the need to provide a cheerful and friendly environment to each child. From cuts to transplants, they treat each child with love, concern, and personal attention. Loma Linda University Children's Hospital is committed to the children of Southern California. Information at 1-800-825-KIDS.
The first Farmer Boys Fastrant opened in the Inland Empire in 1981 with a single premise: serve generous portions of freshly prepared food and serve it quickly. The concept worked, and now Farmer Boys has grown to over 50 locations throughout Southern California. Their menu features more than 75 freshly prepared items, including burgers, sandwiches, made-to-order salads, onion rings, and fried zucchini. Open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Farmer Boys. Fresh food, fast.
Only one time in their last 14 games have the Quakes held an opponent to 3 runs or less, and leading 9-3 tonight. Coming into pitch, and it has been a long time, is Aaron Troya. Troya, who has had a frustrating season because, remember, he had the back problem at the start of the year. Went on the DL April the 6th, opening day. Well, his last game, May the 28th, and he went on the DL on June the 1st. Troya, this time bothered by an abdominal strain. So he is back off the DL and pitching in his 16th game of the year. So Donier goes 1 inning, and Mike Collins will lead off here in the Rancho 7th and takes high. Collins, a double, a home run, 4 runs batted in, and he has really been on a tear of late. He hits a ground ball to short, fielded cleanly by Dominguez, and he'll go to Rogelstadt, a little bit low, but in time for the out. One up for Pat Riley. He has a home run and a double. Troy, 1-2 with an ERA of 6 3/4, and the California League hitting .330, but pitching hurt for a good part of the year may have something to do with the less than stellar numbers. When we were in Visalia, right before the end of the first half, I saw Aaron outside of the hotel, and I asked him how he was coming along. And he was obviously frustrated at the fact that he just hasn't been totally healthy this year. First pitch to Riley outside. And Aaron told me that he had only pitched in maybe 2 or 3 games all year in which he was pain-free. The next one to Riley is hit back a third out of play, 1 ball and a strike. Well, hopefully this time he can stay healthy for the rest of the year and see what he could perhaps do when he's not in pain. Troya allowing runs in 7 straight outings before going on the DL. The 1-1 pitch to Riley is high, 2-1. Aaron with a 10.66 ERA in those 7 games. A whip of 2.37. 2-1 to Riley popped up. That is into medium left field, and Casey Craig has plenty of room, makes the catch, and we have 2 outs here in the Rancho 7th for Drew Toussaint. So Troy, in those last 7 games before he went on the DL, was allowing almost 2.5 base runners an inning, and opponents were hitting .418. Toussaint is 1 for 3. He got a single in his last at bat. Drew last year was rated among the Angels' top 30 minor league prospects at number 27, but was not on the list this year. He pops one off to the right out of play. Toussaint had a really good rookie year. In 2004, down in the Pioneer League, he had 12 home runs and drove in 52 in just 55 games for Provo, while hitting about .290. Last year in the Midwest League, he had .261 with 21 home runs. Takes a pitch inside from Troya, and the count 1 ball and a strike. And he has hit 10 home runs this year. He was originally drafted by the Dodgers, coming out of high school, a 10th rounder. Troya's pitch chased and missed that one down and away, and the count now 1-2. He didn't sign with the Dodgers, went off to college, played a couple of years at Cal Poly, and then transferred to Southern University in 2003, where he became an all-conference player. The 1-2 pitch is hit off the hands, right side out of play. Played in the Southwestern Athletic Conference and twice named to the all-conference team. He led his conference in home runs with 14 his last year at Southern in 2004. Right-handed batter, outfield about straight away, maybe a bit toward right, and a little bouncer hit the third. Prettyman on the run to charge it, goes to first, not in time, so that'll be an infield hit. A rare single for the Quakes tonight. John Rodriguez had a first-inning single. Toussaint has had 2 singles, but that's it. 6 of their 9 hits have gone for extra bases. Now, the most extra base hits the Sixers have allowed in a single game this year is 9. And it happened both times in April. April 9th up in Maverick Stadium in High Desert, and then on the 23rd up in Bakersfield. Ryan Leahy, the batter, chops the first one to Prettyman at third. He'll go the short way to Arroyo. 5-4 on the putout, and that'll do it for Rancho. No runs, a hit, 1 left. We have 7 innings in the books tonight here at the Epicenter, where the Quakes enjoy a 9-3 lead.
Saturday, September 30th, join KVCR at Riley's Farm in Oak Glen for an old-fashioned good time. Our guests will take hay rides, pick apples, dip candles, make apple cider, and throw an axe. A barbecue dinner will be served with live music and a local history lesson. After a fresh apple pie dessert, we'll clear the barn floor for square dancing and give away prizes and hold a raffle. That's Saturday, September 30th. Call 800-828-4558.
You wouldn't want your favorite sports team to only play offense or only play defense, would you? Allstate would like you to know they have a plan to combine both home and auto insurance to help serve you. Allstate is there to provide assistance for each client. In Ontario, Allstate agent Sal Ayala Jr. is there for you at 909-984-8528. At Allstate, you are in good hands. Subject to availability and qualifications, Allstate Insurance Company, Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company, and Allstate Indemnity Company, Northbrook, Illinois.
The diamond industry's done a pretty good job getting guys to spend a bundle on engagement rings, but what are couples spending on wedding rings?
The most for a woman's wedding band, I'd have to say, is about $25,000, $26,000.
$26,000? I'm Chess Vickland. We price out wedding rings this week on Marketplace Money from American Public Media.
Sunday afternoon at 1 on KVCR, San Bernardino.
Mike Sager back at the epicenter in Rancho Cucamonga, where Jose Arredondo going 7 innings yet again and pitching into the 8th here in his final start before he goes up to Double-A. And here in the top of the 8th inning, starting with Jeff Dominguez, who fouls it back, hitting from the left side. Jeff has singled and grounded into a double play tonight, 1 of 2 that the Sixers have bounced into. This is the 5th consecutive game that Arredondo has gone 7. The pitch on the way, foul back. Dominguez behind 0-2. 3,835, the paid attendance at the epicenter tonight. Into the windup goes Arredondo, and the right-hander fires home, misses upstairs, and it's now 1 ball and 2 strikes. So last night the Sixers blew out the Quakes, winning by 9. 1-2 to Dominguez, got him swinging. So Jeff down on strikes, number 6 for Arredondo tonight. 114 on the year. And here comes Brent Johnson. Arredondo would be on pace, and of course this will be his last start with the Quakes, but just to throw it out there, at the rate he's going, and if the Angels had left him here all year, his pace would be for 218 strikeouts, which would break the Rancho Cucamonga season single record by about 30, set by Steve Shell in 04. Brent Johnson, 2 for 3, takes high, 1-0 the count, 2 of the 7 Sixer hits tonight, and getting the hitting streak to 9. With the Quakes leading by 6 tonight after they lost by 9 last night, brings up a point, or I guess an observation, as the pitch is fouled away to the right. You know, last night was the first game between these two teams this year that was not decided by either 1 or 2 runs. So the first 7 head-to-head games were 1 and 2 run decisions. Curveball is up and in, and Johnson leaning out of the way. Brent Johnson has really destroyed the Quakes this year. He came in hitting .429 in 8 games against Rancho. And with a 2 for 3 effort tonight, he is 17 for 38 against the Quakes. That's .447. He drives one into the gap in left center, and there's no one home. That's going to drop and go all the way to the fence. Johnson with his 3rd hit of the night. 2 nights in a row he's had 3 hits as he winds up at second base with a double. So he continues to tear it up. The next closest on the team currently with the squad in terms of hits against the Quakes would be Josh Womack, who is not in the lineup tonight. He has 11. So Johnson has 18. You know, what's interesting is that when you look at these statistics, it is hard to believe that these two teams have split 8, because the Sixers in the first 8 games had hit .304. Rancho had hit .217. And yet both teams winning 4. The batter now is Casey Craig, who fouls it to the right. Casey with a home run off the batter's eye in the 6th inning. So he is 1 for 3 tonight and 7 for 15 since joining the ball club. Jose Arredondo, he looks like a pretty good one. First time we have seen him this year, and as it turns out, be the only time, as his next start will be in Double-A with Arkansas. Strike 1 to Craig. Inside, gets away from Duff, and down to third goes Johnson. I couldn't tell if that ball hit the dirt or if it hit the glove of Duff, and they're going to score at a wild pitch. So Brent Johnson 90 feet away, and the count on Craig 1-1. When you talk about good young arms, I don't know how closely you follow the major leagues, but there are a lot of really good rookie pitchers in the big leagues this year. Francisco Liriano of the Twins, who at one time was property of the Giants. Justin Verlander, Matt Cain, another former San Jose Giant. Cole Hamels. The 1-1 pitch to Craig is a little pop fly into left center. I don't know if that'll be deep enough or not. Toussaint makes the catch. Johnson's coming. Here comes the throw, and it's not in time. BJ goes in standing up. So Casey Craig with a scoring fly ball drives in his second run of the night, and that makes it 9-4 in favor of the Quakes. 2 outs, and Ronnie Prettyman 1 for 3 with a run-scoring single coming up. Chad Billingsley, who recently came up with the Dodgers, John Lester, Anthony Reyes, and there are several others. Rob Nyer, who writes a regular column for ESPN Insider on their website, put together a list, his nominations, as Prettyman looks at a strike, of the top 5 crops of rookie pitchers since World War II, and he based it purely on how their careers turned out. And at the top of Nyer's list would have been the crop from 1965, and it's kind of hard to argue. Strike 1 to Prettyman in the dirt, swung on and missed. The 1965 rookie crop of Major League pitchers included Steve Carlton, Phil Niekro, Jim Palmer, and Catfish Hunter. 2 of them, Carlton and Niekro, won 300 plus, and those 4 all in the Major League Hall of Fame. And besides that, there's some pretty good pitchers mixed in who are not in the Hall of Fame. 0-2 pitch, outside 1-2. Jim Longboard, Rudy May, Dave Boswell, Larry Durker, Tug McGraw, among others. 1965, a pretty good year for rookie pitchers in the bigs. Line drive off the end of the bat down the left field line foul. Still 1-2 to Prettyman. Schweiger on deck. Number 2 on Nyer's list would have been the rookie crop from 1984 that included Roger Clemens, Oral Hershiser, and Doc Gooden. And along with those guys, Brett Saberhagen, Mark Langston, Jose Rio, Jimmy Key, Mark Gubazah, Danny Jackson. 1-2 in the dirt, swung on and missed. That'll take care of Prettyman, and that'll do it for the inning. So in the inning, Arredondo fans 2 to give him 7. He gives up a run. But at the end of 7.5, the Quakes still on top, 9-4 now.
So just how has Irma Thomas, New Orleans Queen of Soul, kept her voice in tune for nearly 50 years?
I've never been a smoker or a drinker, so my biggest vice is eating, and my other vices are all grown.
I'm Scott Simon. Irma Thomas, her vices and virtues, her new album, plus all the week's news, Saturday and Weekend Edition from NPR News.
Saturday morning on KVCR, San Bernardino.
The White House is furious at the New York Times for revealing a secret program to track terrorist finances. Well, this week on Wait, Don't Tell Me, we will expose a government program that plans to seize 25% or more of every citizen's annual earnings. I'm Peter Sagal. Join us for this explosive revelation, if they allow it, on this weekend's Wait, Don't Tell Me, the news quiz from NPR.
Saturday morning at 10 on KVCR, San Bernardino.
Building a new patio? Remodeling your kitchen? Do you have parts left over from a simple fix-it job? Hello, I'm Clark Morrow, and have I got a show for you. Listen on Saturday mornings at 11 to get the answers you need on Construction Zone Radio. Phone us at 1-800-841-1999 and tell us your dilemma. That's our home repair and remodeling show, Construction Zone Radio. Saturday mornings at 11 on KVCR San Bernardino.
In to pitch here as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning is Mumba Rivera. So Aaron Troy coming off the DL, and he put up a scoreless inning. 9 runs on 9 hits for the Quakes, 4 runs on 8 hits for the Sixers. They have made 2 errors tonight. Rancho has made 1. And this the 9th meeting of the year between the 2 division rivals. If you look at the all-time series, which started in 1993, the first year the Quakes were here. And, of course, the Quakes originally Well, let's say like this. Rancho was the original San Bernardino Spirit. And they moved here after the 92 season. Anyway, including postseason play, the Sixers lead the all-time series 155 to 144. Since 1995, San Bernardino teams are 8 games above 500 when they have ventured over here to the epicenter. So Mamba Rivera pitching to Tim Duff, who is 0 for 3, came in hitting 175. And the first pitch here in the 8th is low and outside, 1-0. For Mamba, this would be his 5th appearance against the Quakes. Gave up that grand slam to Pat Riley here on June 4th with 2 outs in the 9th to tie it, as Duff fouls it back, 1 ball and a strike. And Mamba, after getting off to a blazing start, has kind of hit a little bump in the road. In his last 6 games, Mamba's ERA is 9.31. He is 1-2, and he has a whip of about 220. So better than 2 base runners an inning that he's been putting on in his last 6. And he misses high and away to Duff. 2 balls and a strike. He is obviously a key cog in the bullpen down the stretch here and into the playoffs as Duff fouls it back 2-2. So they need Mamba to turn things around. Duff, Fuller, and then the leadoff hitter, Josh LeBlanc. Getting back to that top 5 list that Rob Nyer put together about the best rookie classes of pitchers in the big leagues since World War II. And we got through his first 2 on the list. The 2-2 pitch is in there, strike 3 call. Looked like it had a little late break to it as it crossed the plate on the outer half. So Duff is out on strikes, 1 away for Cody Fuller, who's got 2 doubles tonight. Grounded out to short last time up. Cody Fuller going into play tonight, just double-checking the numbers here, was hitting under 200 since the start of May. And he rips one to third. It gets by Prettyman just behind him. That was a bullet. Fuller makes the turn, and we'll see. That probably will go down as a hit, and it will. So Cody Fuller getting his 3rd base hit of the night. He had a 3-hit game against the Mavericks last Saturday right before the All-Star break. He recently had a stretch here in the month of June in which he went 7 straight games without getting a single hit. So the Quakes now have 10 hits on the night. That is only the let me double check before I open my mouth. Yeah, the 25th time all year the Sixers have allowed 10 hits or more, and it's just the 9th time in their last 40 games they have done so. Josh LeBlanc takes outside. And in fact, over the last 39 games, opposing teams were hitting .231 against the Inland Empire 66ers, who have allowed the fewest number of hits in the league this year. LeBlanc swings away, pops one in the air to right center field. That's playable. Colton going over, now coming in, will make the catch. And Cody Fuller will get back to first. 2 gone for Sean Rodriguez. A single, a walk, then an intentional walk, and a ground out to third. Nyer's number 3 on that list would have been the rookie crop from 1989, led by Randy Johnson, Kevin Brown, Kenny Rogers, all 3 of those more than 200 victories. Tom Gordon, 129 wins, 136 saves. And 17 years later, of the 4 pitchers I mentioned, only Kevin Brown is not going strong. The first pitch to Rodriguez in for a strike. Randy Johnson, probably the only future Hall of Famer. The others have had some very good careers, and that class of rookie pitchers also included Andy Bennis, Pete Harnish. The pitch to the plate gets away from Schweiger. So down to second base goes Fuller, and we'll see how they score it. The count to Rodriguez will be a ball and a strike. They're going to charge a pass ball on Schweiger. So an RBI chance for Rodriguez. John has only hit .218 this year with runners in scoring position. And of his 15 home runs, 12 of those have come with no one on base. Outfield straight away with 2 gone. Pitch from Mamba is a high fly into left field. Back goes Craig on the track, almost to the wall where he'll make the catch. And Rodriguez just got out in front of that thing by a hair. That's how close he came to hitting it out. Quakes get one hit in the inning and wind up leaving Fuller at second. A couple of other guys from that rookie crop of pitchers from '89 included John Wetland, Jose Mesa, Greg Olson, and Jeff Brantley, four guys who had pretty good careers as closers. We go to the ninth, where the Quakes lead the Sixers by the score of 9-4.
This week, a Prairie Home Companion is at Tanglewood with the Waylon Jennings, Robin and Linda Williams and Hope for Gospel Quartet, Jarrell Steele. And Meryl Streep is with us as Yolanda Johnson of the Johnson Girls, and also to read her favorite American poems. Guy Noir as well, the news from Lake Wobegon this week on a Prairie Home Companion.
Saturday afternoon at 3 on KVCR, San Bernardino, Riverside.
They couldn't be more different or more popular. Two of the biggest tourist destinations in the western United States are the desert oasis of Las Vegas, Nevada, and the ruggedly beautiful Yosemite National Park in California's Sierra Nevada mountains. Hi, I'm Rick Steves. It's high stakes and high mountain trails, hobnobbing with both Lady Luck and Mother Nature on this week's Travel with Rick Steves.
Sunday at noon on KVCR, San Bernardino.
Hi, I'm André Rieu. My orchestra and I enjoyed our visit to Pasadena for 2 concerts last December. Winter in the Netherlands is much colder than Southern California. We will be returning to your sunny state in December of 2006 to perform for you at the Arrowhead Pond in Anaheim. To order your tickets for this year's performance, please call 1-800-533-5827.
Into the game for the Quakes is Aaron Pullen, a right-hander who had spent most of the season up in Double-A, pitching for the Arkansas Travelers. He had appeared in 25 games there. All in relief. He was 1-0 with a save and a 5.49 ERA. Had 24 walks, 22 strikeouts, and allowed 5 home runs in 39 innings. This would be his third game since joining Rancho. He's worked in 3 1/3 innings, allowed 2 hits, struck out 3, and no walks allowed. So Jose Arredondo going 8 in his final Cal League outing. And here in the 9th inning, leading off is Schweiger, who takes low and away. Bryan has reached on a single and a walk tonight, struck out his first time up, to be followed by Rogelstad and then Arroyo. Pulling a 6'3" right-hander out of Texas Arlington University. Gets a strike in, 1-1. Signed as a non-drafted free agent by the Angels in June of 2003. He is from the state of Texas, makes his hometown in Midland, and he spent all of last year in Double-A with Arkansas, where he got into 51 games. 1-1 pitch is outside, 2-1 the count. Number 4 on Rob Neyer's list of top rookie crops of pitchers since World War II, 1964, that included Tommy John, Luis Tiant, and Mel Stottlemyre. John, 288 Major League wins in his career. Schweiger fouls it off to the right, 2-2. No Hall of Famers out of that class, but all 3 of those guys I mentioned could be in Cooperstown with a little more luck. Denny McLain was also part of that 1964 class, the last major leaguer to win 30. Got himself into some trouble with the law, tax problems, gambling, and whatnot. The next one is low and away, and the count to Schweiger, 3-2. And finally, number 5 was 1977. And 2 of the more notable rookies that year were Jack Morris and Dennis Martinez, each of whom won over 240 games in the major leagues. Pullen's payoff pitch to Schweiger is lined into left field. That's in for a base hit. So Bryan with a leadoff single here in the 9th. And the batter will be Matt Rogelstad, who is 0 for 3. While the 77 class doesn't have any Hall of Famers, it certainly makes up for it in depth. 9 other pitchers who were rookies that year won at least 100 games in the big leagues, and then you add Willie Hernandez to that, who was the American League MVP with the world champion Tigers in '84, and a pretty good reliever in his day. First pitch to Rogelstad is downstairs, 1 ball and no strikes. So a couple of streaks. Look like they're going to end here tonight. The Sixers' 4-game winning streak and Rancho's 6-game losing streak. Rogelstad takes low, 2-0. Quakes had a 7-game losing streak when they lost all 7 to the Mavericks right near the end of the first half. So going into play tonight, they had lost 13 out of 14, 17 out of 20. And Poland's next pitch to Rogie misses for ball 3, 3-0. Poland had not pitched in the Cal League until he just recently joined Rancho. After spending last year in Double-A, he was in the Midwest League the year before, and he gets a 3-0 strike in. Had a pretty good year for Cedar Rapids. The Angels sent him to the Pioneer League his rookie year after he signed the Provo club. The pitch to Rogelstad, line to short. Rodriguez, no play at first. So Schweiger is back without a throw. And there's your first out here in the 9th. That'll bring up Jack Arroyo, who is 0 for 3. Quakes and the Angels, their player development agreement going through 2008. Quakes had been a Padre affiliate up until 2001. San Diego then signed with the Lake Elsinore Storm, and they're signed through 08. The first pitch on the outside corner to Arroyo. Now, the Sixers' agreement with Seattle is up at the end of this year. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I think everyone assumes they will re-sign with the Mariners, but you know what happens when you start assuming things. Arroyo lifts one in the air to right field. Cody Fuller going back. He'll make the catch. And there's your second out here in the 9th. You look at the teams, the major league organizations that might or that will be available, presumably, who have teams in the Cal League. You got Texas. Their deal with Bakersfield is up at the end of this year. Kansas City's deal with High Desert is up at the end of the year. Arizona's agreement with Lancaster is up at the end of the season. The pitch on the way to Chris Colton. Outside, 1-0. Chris is fanned, grounded out, and popped up. Little 4-game hitting streak that he'd like to extend. Modesto's deal with Colorado ends this year. Next pitch in for a strike, 1-1. And Tampa Bay and Visalia are up at the end of the year as well. The 1-1 pitch from Poland is a little bouncer to the right side of the infield. Leahy has it, goes to first, and Rancho's got the win tonight. Well, Jose Arredondo, who had not gotten any run support this year, and that was a big reason why he came in under 500 despite some glistening numbers, gets plenty of run support tonight in his final start in the Cal League, and Rancho winds up running away with it 9-4. In Game 2 of this 5-game series. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll have the totals for you in just a moment.
Singer Cassandra Wilson takes us on a musical journey to the Red River Valley.
I love old folk music. From this valley, they say, you are gone. You know, songs that speak about the vastness of the heartland or the mountains or that thing that we have in America.
Cassandra Wilson, Saturday on All Things Considered from NPR News.
At 5 p.m. on KVCR, San Bernardino.
The diamond industry's done a pretty good job getting guys to spend a bundle on engagement rings, but what are couples spending on wedding rings?
The most for a woman's wedding band, I'd have to say, is about $26,000.
$26,000? I'm Tess Vigland. We price out wedding rings this week on Marketplace Money from American Public Media.
Sunday afternoon at 1 on KVCR, San Bernardino.
Hi, I'm Sarah. Since I've been attending Crafton Hills, I have discovered my passion is writing and journalism. Initially, I decided to attend Crafton Hills because I wasn't sure about my major. I felt comfortable at Crafton's smaller campus because it allowed me to gain a relationship with my advisors. The faculty and staff have been very encouraging. It has made a difference as far as increasing my confidence in finding a goal. It was an excellent choice.
Enhancing your life with quality education.
For just the fourth time in their last 21 games, the Quakes come out victorious, beating Inland Empire 9-4. For Rancho, 9 runs, 10 hits, 1 error, and Inland Empire 4 runs, 9 hits, and 2 errors. Win goes to Jose Arredondo, who improves to 5 and 6, and will now take his high strikeout total to the Texas League, where next week he'll be making his Double-A debut. The losing pitcher, Sean Nottingham, who's now lost 4 straight decisions, although this was his worst start of the year. So I guess it had been a long time coming. He had been pitching so well of late, but still had not been winning because the Sixers had not been scoring many runs for him. Well, Nottingham's record on the year drops to 3-7, and he is 1-1 against the Quakes. So the Quakes snapped their 6-game losing streak. They're 2-6 here in the second half. 34 and 44 on the season. The Sixers, who would have matched their high water mark with a win tonight, had they won, they would have been 13 games above 500. But instead, they are 44 and 33. And here in the second half, a record of 5 and 2. The Quakes get back to 500 at home, 22 and 22. The Sixers now 16 and 24 out on the road. And Rancho now has the edge in the head-to-head series this year, having won 5 out of 9. Tomorrow night, Game 3 of this 5-game series. It'll be at 7:05, and we will be on the air joining you at 7 o'clock. On the hill for the Quakes, right-hander Fernando Rodriguez. So the Quakes have a Francisco Rodriguez and a Fernando Rodriguez. We have not seen Fernando this year. He's 1-2 with an ERA of 5.06. And, well, actually, you know what? Double-check that. I just looked at the June monthly stats. Knew that didn't sound right. Fernando's 6-4 with a 4.66 ERA. And he'll be opposed by Sidney Bayo, who is 4-4 with an earned run average of 4.56. So that is tomorrow night, Game 3 of this 5-game series. Now we invite you to stay tuned for the post-game show. That'll be coming right up.
You've been listening to the California League's Inland Empire 66ers on KVCR. Today's broadcast has been made possible by the support of Loma Linda University Children's Hospital, the only children's hospital in the Inland Empire. By Toyota of Redlands, where personal relationships still count. By the more than 50 Southern California Farmer Boys Fast-A-Rons, fresh food served fast. And by Arrowhead Credit Union, serving Inland Empire communities for more than 50 years. Now we invite you to stay tuned for the post-game show, coming right up.
The BBC knows this world is constantly changing, and we face the unexpected.
The town has been utterly devastated, tens of thousands of feared dead.
And across the globe there are important decisions being made that affect us all.
With today's action, a real milestone has been reached.
Keep up to date with what's happening in our complex world, with news from the BBC World Service.
Overnights on KVCR, San Bernardino.
And just where can one go these days to confront the burning linguistic issues of our times? Is it clandestine or clandestine?
Clandestine.
Oh, my darling.
Oh, my darling.
Oh, my darling. Clandestine.
Just no shame at all, is there? Just no shame. None. Try Says You, Weekly Words and Wit from NPR.
Saturday afternoons at 2:30 and Tuesday mornings at 9:30 on KVCR, San Bernardino.
Most everyone knows someone who is the victim of identity theft. When someone's credit history, social security number, or other personal information have been stolen and used by a stranger. It's a crime that's on the rise. Tune in to Justice Talking this week as we talk about proposed legislation to help millions of Americans deal with this crime. Also, we'll talk about how to protect yourself from having your identity stolen. This week on Justice Talking.
Sunday afternoon at 2 on KVCR, San Bernardino.
Stay tuned for the wrap-up of the just-concluded 66ers game, along with a check of the out-of-town scoreboard and a look ahead at the next 66ers game on the post-game show.
Well, the Quakes were 6-30 this year in games in which the opposition scored first. Well, make it 7-30 as the Sixers got a quick lead off Jose Arredondo, but Sean Nottingham just didn't have it tonight. He gave up runs in each of the first 4 innings, and the Quakes breezed to a 9-4 win. So with the loss, the Sixers finished the month of June at 12-13. It is their first losing month this year, and it is the 4th consecutive year that the 66ers have finished under 500 in the month of June. And that coming off a month of May in which the Sixers taste the California League with a record of 19-10. But still a 12-13 June, not nearly as bad as last year, when last year's club set a franchise record for the worst June ever by going 6-19. The Sixers getting all their offense from the top of the order, as 7 of the 9 hits came out of the top 4 hitters in the lineup, so the 5 through 9 spot produced just 2 hits tonight. Meanwhile, Rancho getting most of its offense from the middle part of the order, the 4, 5, and 6 batters, combined for 6 hits, 2 home runs, and 6 RBIs tonight, as the Quakes snap a 6-game losing streak. Rancho Cucamonga going into play tonight had averaged 3.5 runs a game over their last 20. So they win to go 5-4 against the Sixers this year, and it was certainly a rare off night for a Sixers starter, talking about Nottingham, who winds up allowing 9 runs, 7 earned, both season highs for him. The Sixers starters in the last 17 games had a brilliant earned run average of just 1.87. And the Sixers coming in with the second-best ERA in the league for the year, a 3.20 ERA for the month of June. That's going to wind up bumping up a little bit, but still going to finish with a pretty solid earned run average for the month. When we come back after this quick break, we'll recap tonight's game and play a few highlights for you as the post-game show continues in a moment.
This week, a Prairie Home Companion is at Tanglewood with the Waylon Jennys, Robin and Linda Williams and Hope for Gospel Quartet, Geraldine Steele. And Meryl Streep is with us as Yolanda Johnson of the Johnson Girls, and also to read her favorite American poems. Guy Noir as well, the news from Lake Wobegon this week on a Prairie Home Companion.
Saturday afternoon at 3 on KVCR, San Bernardino, Riverside.
On the next California Report, as Mexico prepares to elect a new president, we'll hear what impact the election's outcome could have north of the border. Also, how the town of Mariposa is struggling after a massive rock slide closed access to Yosemite. And the state's hot dog eating champ goes for the world record. I'm Scott Schaefer, and I hope you join me for the next California Report.
Saturday evening at 6 on KVCR, San Bernardino.
Inland Empire had not seen Jose Arredondo this year. His name up among the league leaders in ERA, among the minor league leaders in strikeouts, and making his final California League start before moving up to Double-A. Well, Inland Empire was able to get a quick run off him in the first inning. Brent Johnson led off the game with a single to extend his hitting streak to 9, and then he advanced to second base on a wild pickoff throw by the pitcher Arredondo. Casey Craig grounded out to move Johnson to third, and that brought up Ronnie Prettyman. Prettyman, hitting just .232 this month, lines a bullet into right. Base hit. Johnson is in, and for the moment, that is an unearned run. So the Sixers, just like last night, getting an early run and go up 1-0 here in the top of the first. Prettyman would steal second base and then get picked off by the pitcher. So the Sixers had to settle for the 1. Quakes came back in the first inning. After a one-out single by Sean Rodriguez, Freddy Sandoval struck out, so it looked like Nottingham would get out of the inning unscathed. But Mike Collins, who drove in 4 runs tonight, came up with the first of his 4 ribbies. And the pitch driven in the air to center field. Johnson going back over his head. That should score the run. Brent plays it off the wall. Here comes Rodriguez. Here comes the relay home, a little bit offline. The run scores, and we are tied in the first. Well, it didn't stay tied very long. The very next batter was designated hitter Pat Riley. The 1-2 pitch is a high pop fly into right field. It's got some carry. Colton back to the wall, jumps in the air. It is gone. So Riley hitting his 6th home run of the year. I didn't think that ball had enough distance when it left the bat. Well, it certainly did. Riley's 6th home run of the year. The Quakes getting 3 and had a 3-1 lead. Well, they would add to it in the 2nd inning, and it came after Nottingham retired the first 2 batters. Cody Fuller getting a double to center, his first 3 hits tonight. A wild pitch moved Fuller up, and he would score on this play. Nottingham delivers. LeBlanc swings and misses, but it gets away from Schweiger, who picks it up, throws to first, and not in time as it gets away. Here comes the runner to the plate. The throw, not in time. So Schweiger going over toward the Inland Empire on-deck circle to pick it up, threw a one-hopper down to Matt Rogelstad at first base, and Jack Arroyo there to back it up. However, his throw to the plate was not in time to get a very alert Cody Fuller, who came in to score. The Quakes would wind up getting another run in the inning as LeBlanc eventually worked his way around on a throwing error by Prettyman. So the Quakes with 2 runs had a 5-1 lead over the Sixers. Inland Empire would get a run in the top of the 3rd inning on a bases-loaded double play ground out by Casey Craig. That made it 5-2. The Quakes made it 6-2 in the bottom of the 3rd when Ryan Leahy's fly ball to center was deep enough to bring in Riley. So Rancho at the end of 3 led the Sixers by the score of 6-2. Quakes came back in the 4th inning after the Sixers were retired and pretty much busted the game wide open as Fuller got himself a double. LeBlanc sacrificed him over, and then Rodriguez was intentionally walked. The next batter, Freddy Sandoval, popped up to first, so a foul pop-up. So again, you had 2 outs, no runs in, and Mike Collins changed that in a hurry in his 3rd at-bat of the night.
Swung on. That one's hit hard and deep into left field. Will it get out of the ballpark? It's on a line, and that one is over the fence. A home run for Michael Collins. Man, he blasted that one good and hard on the line. It didn't even clear the 2nd fence out there. There's 2 fences. Of course, there's the first home run fence with the yellow line going across it. And that indicates it's the home run wall. And then, of course, there's another fence right behind it that has advertisement on it. And if the ball goes over the first fence, it is a home run.
So that's exactly what that was. As it turned out, the Quakes would not score again, but they had a 9-2 lead. The Sixers made it 9-3 with 1 out in the 6th inning, courtesy of Casey Craig.
3-1, swung on, popped way up in the air, going back LeBlanc. He's going way back there, and that ball is hit pretty deep, and it is off the home run fence, and that one is out of here, and they're actually off the eyeball out there in center field, the hitter's eye, and it is a home run for the Inland Empire 66ers, Casey Craig, and that's his first with the ball club.
So Craig's first of 2 RBIs. He would get a scoring fly ball in the 8th inning that would bring home Brent Johnson, who had doubled for his 3rd hit of the night. But the Sixers got behind big early, and with the ball, well, a couple of things. Facing a really good pitcher in Jose Arredondo, you knew it was going to be tough to come back after the first couple of innings. And number 2, with a team talking about the Sixers that is pretty much devoid of any power whatsoever, when you're down big and you don't really have a home run threat, it is awfully, awfully tough to mount a comeback. And that's pretty much how it's going to be the entire second half. The Sixers, if they get behind early in a ball game by several runs, are going to have their work cut out for them trying to come back because they don't have that Mike Wilson or even a Marshall Hubbard or even a Chen in the upper to middle part of the lineup who would be a threat to hit a home run and maybe drive in a few runs. So anyway, the Sixers lose 9-4 as Arredondo goes 8, gives up 8 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, strikes out 7. Aaron Pullen with a scoreless 9th inning. Nottingham, the loser, 5 innings, 9 runs, 7 earned, 8 hits. The Quakes finishing with 6 extra base hits tonight compared to only 4 singles. as they win it 9-4 in a game that took 2 hours and 28 minutes, I think, without looking at the box score. I believe last night's game was exactly an hour longer at 3:28. So much shorter ball game here tonight. In fact, Bill is going to show me. And, no, that's tonight's box score. Yeah, thanks. I got that right here. 2:28. Get yourself a cup of coffee. Anyway, Bill's up next. Going to check the out-of-town scoreboard for you when we continue in a moment.
Hello, I'm Andre Rieu. I hope you were able to attend my concert in Pasadena last December. Because you were so generous last year, we are creating a whole new show to perform for you this December in Anaheim, California. You can reserve your seats for our concert now by calling 1-800-533-5827. Thanks for listening, and thank you for supporting KVCR.
On the next Weekend America, did you know the upcoming space shuttle launch could be threatened by vultures? Yep. Here's something else you didn't know.
They defecate on their legs, and that makes like vulture air conditioning. The wetness on their legs helps cool them off.
Come to the Kennedy Space Center and meet the Buzzard Patrol on Weekend America.
Saturday at noon on KVCR, San Bernardino.
Well, still some games going on in the Cal League, so let's take a look at those. Games in progress. Lancaster and Bakersfield still playing baseball. They're in the 7th inning. Lancaster up in this one by a score of 9-7. Dan Pullman pitching for Lancaster right now. Up to bat is Harrison for the Bakersfield Ball Club. So 9-7, Lancaster leading that one. And Lake Elsinore and High Desert still going at it. They're approaching the 9th inning, and Lake Elsinore is winning the ball game. Whedon on the mound for the High Desert Mavericks, and Skip Adams at the plate for Lake Elsinore right now. And once again, Lake Elsinore up 2-0 as that one gets ready to go to the 9th inning. And San Jose and Modesto just got things wrapped up. They don't have the final box up yet, but San Jose won by a score of 4-2 in that ball game. So San Jose back on the winning track. I believe they took a loss last night in their ball game. And Stockton and Visalia playing in Visalia, and the Oaks are up in this one. They are leading the game 11-7 over the Stockton Ports. That game is in the 8th inning. Reese Bridnack has a home run in the ball game, his 15th of the year. And Patrick Breen also has a home run, his 14th of the season. So those guys getting a couple of dingers for the Visalia Oaks Ball Club. And we'll take a look at what happened with the 66ers and the Quakes. Of course, the only ball game to be officially over so far here tonight. I mean, the Giants and the San Jose Giants and Modesto is over. We just don't have a final box score for them. Jose Arredondo wins the ball game here for the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. He moves to 5-6 on the year. And Nottingham with the loss moves to 3-7. Casey Craig, he had himself a home run, his first of the year for the Inland Empire 66ers. And Riley had a home run, and Michael Collins had a home run, both for the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. A 9-4 final. Rancho wins over Inland Empire. And we'll take a look at the Major League scoreboard as well for you here this evening. And we'll start off with the game still in progress. The Oakland A's are up over the, scratch that. The Arizona Diamondbacks are up over the Oakland A's in Oakland. And the score there is 6-4 as they approach the bottom of the 9th inning. The Yankees beat the Mets 2-0. Malone got the win. He is 2-1. Hernandez with the loss moves to 4-8. Rivera with the save is 18th. Jason Giambi hit home run number 24. And 5 Yankee pitchers combined for a one-hit ball game against the New York Mets, only giving up one hit. Fantastic there for the New York Yankees. The Toronto Blue Jays beat the Philadelphia Phillies 8-1, and Overbay goes yard twice as the Blue Jays keep on flying. And Jensen gets the win, is now 6-6. Bernero with the loss is 0-1. David DeLucci with a home run for the Philadelphia Phillies, his 6th of the year. Lyle Overbay, like I said, 2 home runs in the ball game here tonight, number 13 and 14 of the season. Eric Hinsky, he hit his 5th of the year for the Toronto Blue Jays. The Minnesota Twins over the Milwaukee Brewers, 8-2 the final there. And 8 is enough for Radke as the Twins win against the Brewers. Radke is now 7-7 with Villanueva moving to 0-1 on the year with the loss. Torrey Hunter had a home run, his 13th. Monroe had a home run, number 20 of the season. And Tiffy hit home run number 2 for the Minnesota Ball Club. Those guys are really on a tear right now. The Texas Rangers over the Houston Astros to the Battle of Texas, as the Rangers win this one 3-1. Teixeira helps the Rangers end the skid against the Astros, and Padilla moves to 7-5 on the season. Oswalt has a record of 6-4 with a loss. Osuka, he has his 16th save of the year, and a home run for Kinsler for the Texas Rangers, his 6th of the season. The Dodgers over the Angels, 6-1 the final there, and Penny with the win is 9-2. Cologne moves to 0-4 on the year, not having a good season so far as Bartolo, so he is not off to a great start. Colorado Rockies lose. Scratch that. They win over the Seattle Mariners 2-0. Rockies ground the Mariners with Fogg's two-hitter in the ballgame. Fogg moving to 6-5, and Moyer is now 5-7. Hopp, he had a home run for the Colorado Rockies in the ballgame. Moving over to take a look at what's going on in the National League ballparks. And the Giants and Padres still going at it down in San Diego. 5-4, Giants in the lead as they're getting ready to start the ninth inning. Ray Durham has a home run, his ninth of the season, and he's on a tear as of late. And Mark Sweeney has one for the Giants, his fourth, and Pedro Feliz has hit home run number 11 for San Francisco as they try to wrap things up down in San Diego. The Chicago White Sox beat the Chicago Cubs 6-2, and one heck of a ball game there. Garland with the win, 7-3. He is now 7-3. Marshall with the loss moves to 4-7. Uribe, he has his ninth home run of the year. And get this, Barrett, the catcher for the Chicago Cubs, apologized to A.J. Przinsky for the mishap or the fight that happened earlier in the season that ended up getting Barrett a 10-game suspension, and A.J. Przinsky, I believe, got a fine out of the whole deal there. But Barrett, the catcher, apologizing to A.J. Kind of surprising. Tampa Bay beat Washington by a score of 11-1. Corcoran gets the win. He moves to 2-0. O'Connor with the loss is 3-5. Hollins with a home run for Tampa Bay, his 10th. Crawford had 2 home runs in the ball game, number 11 and 12. Rocco Baldelli, he had his 4th home run of the year. It's been a short season for Rocco, coming back from an injury. And Jose Cantu had a home run, his 4th of the season for Tampa Bay. So 4 home runs coming for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays in this ball game here tonight as they win the ball game 11-1 over Washington. The Detroit Tigers beat the Pittsburgh Pirates, a 7-6 final. Tigers top the Bucks to go 30 games over 500. An amazing season for those guys. Cologne with the win is 1-0. Wells moves to 0-3 with the loss. Jones gets the save for the Tigers, his 21st of the year. Thames with the home run, his 16th. Shelton got his 15th home run for the Tigers, and Juan Bautista hit home run number 10 for Pittsburgh. And we'll take a look at the Cincinnati-Cleveland game with the Reds coming out on top here, 9-8. And they scored 4 runs in the 8th inning, did the Reds, and 5 runs in the 9th inning to make a comeback in this ball game. Man, the Cleveland Indians were not happy, I'm sure, with that loss, giving up a lot of runs in the 8th and the 9th, and you got to account their bullpen for that one. And, of course, grand exit as Dunn's 9th inning grand slam lifted the Reds over the Indians in the ballgame. Merker with the win is 1-1. Wickman gets the loss. He moves to 1-4. Todd Hollingsworth had a home run for the Cleveland Indians. Belliard had a home run as well in the ballgame. For Cincinnati, home runs by Castro. Adam Dunn is 26, and Adam Kearns home run number 14 of the season, and Dunn's home run being the big one, the grand slam in the 9th inning to put his team ahead for good in that ball game. We'll move on to Baltimore and Atlanta. The Braves win. They win over the Baltimore Orioles 5-3. James with the win is 2-0. Berkins with the loss is 2-1. Sosa, he got the save in the ball game, his 2nd of the year. Conine had a home run for the Orioles, his 7th. Patterson had home run number 9 for the Baltimore team, and LaRoche had his 13th home run go over the fence for the Atlanta Braves. The Florida Marlins beat the Boston Red Sox 5-2. Willis with the win down in Florida, and he moves to 5-7. Johnson moves to 3-9 with the loss. Browski gets his 15th save of the year, and unlucky number 13 as the Marlins stop the Red Sox winning streak at 12 games, so they could not get to 13 to the Red Sox. But a nice run anyway, winning 12 in a row for the Boston Red Sox. Kansas City over St. Louis, that's the final. 7-5 is the final score there. Burgess with the win is 2-3. Looper with the loss is 3-1. Mikheyevich had a home run for Kansas City, and Tehan also with a home run for the Royals. Mikheyevich with home run number 4, Tehan with home run number 5, and that's looking at your Major League scoreboard and Cal League scoreboard. Mike Sager and I will be back to wrap things up.
So just how has Irma Thomas, New Orleans Queen of Soul, kept her voice in tune for nearly 50 years?
I've never been a smoker or a drinker, so my biggest vice is eating, and my other vices are all grown.
I'm Scott Simon. Irma Thomas, her vices and virtues, her new album, plus all the week's news, Saturday and weekend edition from NPR News.
Saturday morning on KVCR, San Bernardino.
It was another time and another place in American life. It was radio. This is Ed Rothbard inviting you to join me this week as I remember radio for the Jack Benny program. That's Jack Benny, Saturday afternoon at 2, and again Sunday morning at 4, here on KVCR, San Bernardino Riverside, as I Remember Radio.
It's a really good question. Hey, we're back.
All right.
Well, 9-4, it's one of those nights where Nottingham had he had an off night. He'd been pitching so well for so long, but unfortunately, you have an off night with a guy like Arredondo on the mound. You pretty much see the writing on the wall after the first couple innings, even though you generally don't write off a game after 2 innings. But when it's 5-1 and you don't have any power threat, and you got one of the league's best pitchers on the mound, unless he was going to blow up, you knew it was going to be like that. But credit after the 4th inning, I think it was, Rancho didn't score again. So I mean, that's some good news there, I suppose.
Yeah, Nottingham, in a sense, settled down after that, and then, the bullpen came on, did a decent job, so that's some good news for the 66ers, but unfortunately, Nottingham just didn't come out with this good stuff here tonight, really didn't give the team a chance to stay in the ball game, and the Rancho Cucamonga Ball Club finally gets off the schneid and wins the ball game here, but, the 66ers just weren't able to hit the ball as well as they did last night.
No, and they didn't figure they were going to. I mean, last night, Francisco Rodriguez, a guy who has not been pitching well, and then we find out today, we didn't know it last night. I guess he was having a blister problem, which was something he had earlier, which affected his command. Obviously, we saw last night he didn't have his command at all and fell behind in the count, got knocked around. But tonight, going up against a good pitcher. The good news is the Sixers will not have to see Arredondo again. So, some more good news.
So long, farewell.
So long, farewell. Yep. Nice seeing you.
Yep. Hey, we got some guys going up to Double-A. Go join them.
Yeah. Well, you know what? There's no way anyone from the Sixers is going to feel sorry for any other team losing good players because the Sixers, they've been gutted like a trout. And, so Arredondo obviously was one of the top Quake players and deserved to go, even though he had a losing record, but his team hadn't been scoring runs for him. And kind of the same for Nottingham. Here's a guy 3-7 who until tonight had been throwing really well, but he's the one guy who just hasn't been getting run support. There seems to be one guy like that on every pitching staff every year. Sean certainly could have a record of 7-3 just as easily as 3-7, but a rare night, and I think he's been around a couple of years, even though he's young. He's got a lot of experience compared to some of these guys, and I would expect him to bounce back just fine next week. And I guess he would be pitching. Let's see,
the 4th of July game?
Monday. What day is the 4th? Wednesday?
It's Tuesday.
No, he would actually go Wednesday.
He would go Wednesday.
Yeah, so it will be, Justin Thomas goes Tuesday.
Ooh, that's right, yeah.
Went off that 11 strikeout performance, not too shabby. But I think Nottingham will bounce back fine, and, anyway, he pitches so well at home as it is, so I look for him to come back and play well. And, Sixers, I guess the Quakes were due for a win. Heck, they had only won 3 times in the last 20, and, had lost 6 in a row, so it's a law of averages. Sixers had won 4 straight, and just wasn't meant to be tonight. So you really can't fault anybody. It's not like they missed out on clutch opportunities or booted the ball around a lot. I mean, the one error that Prettyman was charged with was kind of a tough error because he had to make such a long throw. It would have been tough to get the guy, but it had to be an error because it went to the stands. Just the 2 errors tonight. Just one of those nights.
Yeah, all the planets aligned or the stars aligned. What's the saying? Is it the stars or the planets aligned?
I think they all aligned.
They all aligned. Everything. The stars and the planets. Yes. Everything's in one big row, and it all came up money for the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes here tonight. And, the 66ers got a lot of hits last night. Arredondo came out here and threw a nice game here tonight. And like you said, it's his last start for this ball club. He definitely wanted to come out and show something in front of the Quakes home crowd.
Well, hitting-wise for the Sixers, Brent Johnson continues to roll, back-to-back 3-hit games, a 9-game hitting streak. Certainly now, with everybody else gone, he becomes the best hitter on the team out of that leadoff spot and continues to get on base. You almost, because Seattle's had the itchiest trigger finger around, you're almost afraid when he gets a couple of hits that tomorrow Gary's going to call you and say, hey, Brent needs a ride to the airport. Wouldn't surprise me if that happened, but... it's nice to see him get the hits, but you almost think, why don't you have a couple of offers to cool off a little bit so they don't think you're doing so well.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get that batting average down just a touch. In the losing games and the games that we lose, you could settle in a little bit.
Well, Casey Craig's looked pretty good. I mean, he had, first 2 at-bats. He had to ground out to move a guy up and then hit into a double play, but he had the home run and quality out with the scoring fly ball, so he's let's see, 7 for 15 since joining the ball club, and it looks like he's got some speed. He looks like he might be okay for this team.
He's got some speed. He's got a nice arm out there in the outfield. We saw that a couple of times tonight. And that power kind of surprised me. He hit the ball over the fence in deep center field here.
Yeah, hit it into the batter's eye. And, like you said, you never know who the power is going to come from because the Sixers, I mean, they really don't have a true number 3 hitter.
Mm-hmm.
They really don't have a number 4 hitter. So it is a very atypical lineup that Gary's been running out there. He had Schweiger hitting cleanup tonight and Falcone a couple of games, and it's really just a matter you almost have to figure out, okay, who's hitting well now? Let's put them at the top, the middle of the order, and everyone else is in the back, and then that could change in a few days. You get a couple of guys at the bottom of the order who have a few good games. Maybe they move up. So I'm just glad that in the notes I don't track, some guys track lineups, how many times a guy's hit in this spot, number 1, number 2, and I could take a whole day doing that, I think, in the second half if we actually track that. But,
you'd be a very busy man.
I think the only constant in the lineup, providing that he stays here, is going to be Brent Johnson in that leadoff spot, with the exception, and there probably won't be many exceptions as far as him actually getting a day off because they really need him in there, but he's got to have a couple days off down the stretch, you would think. But I think aside from Johnson leadoff, there really isn't a spot in the lineup where you could say, okay, this guy will hit here, this guy will hit here, like we saw in the first half.
Yeah, you're going to put Johnson at the very top of the order, and then you're going to put the rest of the guys' names in a hat and just pick out, and the second guy you pick, well, that's the guy that's going to bat second that night.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, ideally the number 2 spot, you like a guy who can take some pitches, who's not a strikeout risk, so that you can maybe give your leadoff guy an opportunity to steal a base, or if you want to play hit and run, you got a guy, at least can make contact consistently. So those are the kind of guys you look for at the number 2 spot. But I think, like you said, after that, it's almost like picking names out of a hat and just, all right, let me look. What have you done in the last 5 games? Oh, okay, you're hitting 350. Well, you're batting third tonight.
You know what I think you and I ought to do? We ought to make up a lineup, and whoever's closest to the real lineup has to buy the rock stars for the night, or whoever's the loser has to buy the rock stars for the night.
That might not be a bad idea.
There you go, buddy.
Yeah.
The game is on.
I could see us being wrong a lot on that.
Probably.
Anyway, well, Troy, you back from the DL, which is good. I know Aaron had told me in Visalia that only 2 or 3 times all year had he pitched totally pain-free, and I think that may have had a lot to do with his subpar performance before he went on the DL at the end of May there. So it was good to see him get in an inning and not get clobbered. Hopefully he threw and had no pain with the abdominal thing. And Mumba's been struggling lately, and he got in a scoreless inning. So, trying to find some positives here out of a 9-4 loss, and I guess there were at least a couple of them.
Well, if you take a look at the hits, we only lost by 1 hit.
Yeah.
10 hits to 9 hits.
It was a difference.
Not bad there.
Yeah, so what are the Sixers in games decided by 1 or 2 hits?
We're winning.
Do you know that, Pete?
Pete's going to look it up in the stats.
Thanks. But what's kind of odd is that the first 7 games between these 2 teams either was a 1-run or a 2-run game, and now we've had 2 basically, blowouts in this series. Sixers winning by 9 last night, and the Quakes winning by 5 runs tonight after they played them so close to the vest. And, the Sixers haven't really played, even though they still lead the league in 1- and 2-run games with 43 in 77 games. 8 of their last 9 have been decided by 3 runs or more. And it seemed like a stretch there. Like, I know it wasn't every night, but it sure seemed like it over about a 2-week period. It seemed like every day was a 1- and 2-run game.
Yeah, that's always fun. I kind of enjoy those ball games. I know every now and then you want to get a big one for your ball players, but the 1-2-run games, those are always a little bit more exciting, especially going into the last couple of innings. You got to have that bullpen come in and shut things down. It's always fun to watch.
Yep. Well, star of the game tonight, my friend. I don't know. Well, look at your box score here.
Yeah.
That's toughy.
Well, I'm just going to go with Arredondo. He had a nice night, 8 complete innings, 7 strikeouts, a solid effort for him. He gets another victory under his belt. And so long and farewell to him once again.
There you go. Well, let me see. I'm going to go with, I'm going to pick Collins.
That's a good
first
choice.
baseman. He had the big, 2-out double in the first inning. If Nottingham retires him, the Quakes don't score, and maybe maybe the rest of the game has a different tone to it, but he had the double, and then Riley hit the home run, and then later Collins busted it open when it was still somewhat of a ball game. It was 6-2 in the fourth, and then he hit that 3-run line drive home run, and has really been tearing it up late. He had, a couple doubles in the game last night, I think it was. So my game ball goes to the Quakes' Michael Collins, and you give it to Arredondo. And you better make sure you get it to him quickly, though, because he's packing his bags and ready to go.
Yeah, I'm going to run down there right now.
Okay.
And, by the way, Collins had a double again, too, tonight. Didn't you mention that?
Did he have another double?
Didn't he have a double?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, the double in the first inning.
Right, the double in the first inning, so 3 doubles in 2 days.
Yeah, 3 doubles and a home run. Not too bad at all.
I'll take that.
Yeah, I'd take that for sure. Well, tomorrow night we got another one for you, radio and internet at 7:05. We will be coming at you at 7 o'clock here at the Epicenter. Fernando Rodriguez, 6-4 on the hill for the Quakes, and Sidney Bale, a 4-4 record, will be going for the 66ers. So until tomorrow, for Bill Burns, this is Mike Sager saying so long, wishing you a very good evening from the Epicenter here in Rancho Cucamonga, where the Quakes snap a 6-game losing streak and end the Sixers' 4-game winning streak. Rancho Cucamonga comes out on top in this one tonight in 2 hours and 28 minutes. Final score 9-4.
And that'll do it for another edition of Inland Empire 66ers Baseball. We thank you for tuning in, and we invite you to keep your dial on KVCR all summer long so you don't miss a single pitch.